lines that I really, really liked as white. Frankly, I'm unfamiliar with this position. This is, they're playing it with bishop f5, and they're getting these strange lines.
Just having a look at the statistics on the opening database, I mean, it's not really a surprise why you're unfamiliar with this type of position, because there were very few games in the database. I mean, you're looking at a handful at the most. And I think they've already branched off into novel territory.
Christian.
That's right. And if you remember that game, I think it was Nemtsova versus Tatev from earlier in the event. And we were discussing this type of position because they did play a very similar situation as well. Bishop to f5 is by far the best move in the position. Is not the most played move in the position. Bishop to e7, and visually it makes the most sense to go for bishop e7 and go for castle and things of that nature. The problem with bishop to e7 is that it immediately allows this move a d4, and you don't have time to bring the setup to the defense of the knight on e4. So, for example, you go c5, bishop to d3, and now I'm sort of forcing you to take on c3, and I played d4 in one move. Keep that in mind. For example, after bishop to f5, the main line is d3, and after d3, take on c3, take on c3, c5, or bishop to e7, and now white's main option is to play once again d4. But you spend 2 tempis to get to this position, so obviously this is an improved version for black. This one is quite an important distinction in this particular variation, and after bishop to f5, he decided not to go for d3. It's all about this one tempo, right? I want to meet whenever you're going to go c5 with d4 in one move. That's why he waited. He played this waiting move, bishop to e2. If you do play the move c5, then I can have ideas of d4, challenge the pawn on c5 in one go. So this is a very, very important distinction. d4 was Levon's choice. Knight takes c4, bishop takes c4, and we have a d3 in the position. Bishop to c4, get this bishop out first, and after that only play the move d3 is the main line. But looking at the engine, d3 is the proposed moves. This is how these players train, right? They take these sidelines and they go deep as they can with the engine, with the help of their seconds as well, and they find wrinkles in the position, very, very distinctive wrinkles, and this is exactly what we're seeing. But we also know Levon plays this with the white pieces as well. He's a well-established English player. c4, he loves it. We've seen how powerful his opening preparation is in last year's event as well. I'm reminding myself of this match between himself and Ray Robson, and Ray somehow tried to play the move c4, in fact, himself with the white pieces. He got demolished. He got demolished. I think Levon finished with more time than he actually started with. So he's a very, very proficient player when it comes to this type of imbalanced structures, imbalanced positions, and he knows his theory as well. So let's find out what Fabiano prepared at home, and let's find out how Levon will answer to those challenges.
Well, after castles, knight c6, bishop came to f4, and that's actually a novelty on our screen. We've actually seen a2, a3 in the past with the idea of b4, but bishop f4.
And that was a game between Topalov and Hikaru Nakamura in 2017. By the way, a3 is not the best move. Bishop to f4 seems to be the computer's top choice as well. h6, and now the question is black actually preparing to go g5, perhaps? G5 and then g4?
Yes, he is.
And that's why he played this move, bishop to g3, right? Because now after g5, I can stop you from playing g4 with the move h3. So the position, well, perhaps you weaken your pawn structure a bit too much on the king side. He decided against it. He actually, no, he just played g5. He just played g5. It's on the board right now. The computer doesn't like it. The computer really doesn't like this move g5, but Levon is playing a la tempo. He knows what he's doing, so perhaps this is the right direction. Knight to e2 seems to be the best way now that you don't have enough attackers on the pawn on e5 to be able to capture it immediately. And I'm getting ready to blast open the king side with the move f4. That's why I played this move, knight to d2, followed by f4, potentially try to weaken the king side. My guess is that black is going to try to castle long side.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to wait and see. These players are speeding towards some sort of a position that they both seem to be aware of what they need to do in. And yeah, this is going to be a big fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Great stuff. I mean, who's better prepared? I mean, because H6, G5 is definitely throwing down the gauntlet. That's a challenging approach by Levon with the black pieces in the first round. Not warming up, but just immediately.
But I've noticed that about Levon's games in these last few years, especially when it comes to these rapid time controls and blitz time controls. He's not afraid to play in a very creative way, and somehow you get that touch that, you know, he's perhaps looked at this position, but maybe it's kind of more divine inspiration, some freestyling going on, and saying to the opponent, hey, you know, I'm going to play confidently, I'm going to play quickly, and I roughly know what to do with my pieces.
Exactly. Not only that, but he's enjoying himself in the past few tournaments. And I've been talking to him as well over dinners, breakfast in Tata Steel. We were staying at the same hotel, and he was saying that, look, they pay me to do something that I would do regardless.
I love
so how can I not enjoy what I'm doing, and how can I not enjoy playing chess and playing this type of creative moves on the board? He's enjoying himself, and whenever Levon is enjoying himself, he's a dangerous man, I can tell you that.
Wonderful. I've got to ask the question, after the move G5, can I play Queen A4?
Oh, you can definitely do Queen A4.
Yeah.
But how are you going to respond to H5?
I was hoping it wasn't an issue over there. So I'm thinking Queen A4. You're thinking H5. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So.
And if you just H4, right?
Probably you have to respond with H4.
I do.
Yeah, H4, and then after G4, I'm guessing your
plan
was to munch.
Borderline lost. I will take on H4.
I'm borderline lost.
Yes. You have to be very precise to survive this one.
Really?
Wow.
This bishop on d5 is a force of nature in the position.
A hurricane.
Look at it like this. Knight takes h4, I go bishop to e7, and you're very happy because you get your knight to f5, close to my king, you get a check on g7, very disruptive, right?
H4.
Forget about it. H4 followed by H3, and once this long diagonal opens up, and you're going to have to open it up by force almost after the move H3. Also, I can try to go rook to G8, target the pawn on G2 first, and then go to H3. This one is not looking, I mean, look at this.
Yeah, my king is...
We have to show it, right?
Right.
We have to show the checkmate in the position. H3, you try to sidestep that with G3, and H2, a checkmate with a pawn. So you don't see that very often in chess.
H5 is actually a very serious threat, especially when I'm moving my queen away. So queen A4 is a bad move.
Yeah, probably.
Remarkable.
As Christian has highlighted, you need to resolve the tension.
Knight D2.
With Knight D2, maybe can you go bishop F3? Because you've been kind of like banging on about how wonderful this lovely bishop on D5 is.
Why not?
Trade it off, right?
Yeah, bishop F3 is also an idea, but once again, Knight D2 stops the move H5, at least momentarily. And that's quite important.
By the way, we do have on the board Queen A4.
No.
Oh,
that's it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Queen A4 is on the board.
Yes.
Don't be jumping on me. I'm just the messenger. Don't get upset.
And he didn't
Queen
play
A4.
H5.
He didn't play H5. He played Bishop G7
well,
rather
that's
quickly.
Surprising. That's utterly surprising, I have to say. Queen to A4, H5 was a golden opportunity. He played Bishop G7.
Well, now this knight takes pawn in the air. Like,
well, thank you. I mean, I'm just anxious to grab the pawn as well. Knight takes D4.
I'm confused.
And if you play, I don't know, H5, I'm ready to sink my knight into F5.
Confused, I have to say. So this is what I'm thinking.
Please.
He's looking at knight takes D4, bishop takes G2.
Yes.
Yes. Knight F5.
No, knight F5 I can take on F1, right?
Yes, that's permitted. I get 2 bishops for
no, just one.
The exchange.
Yes, you get 2, but I get the knight back, right?
Yeah. That's probably fine for
black. It's fine for black because I have this D4 square, right? You try to open up the position with F4. At the end, I have Queen D4, exchange the queens, and enter the endgame. I'm happy with that.
So king takes, queen takes D4.
Yeah.
And now you can just move the
queen.
We have some problems with E5. Perhaps long castle now?
Okay. And I've been anxious to put my
Then the
a
rook
force
will
of
come.
nature.
Yes.
The rook will come
Force
to
of
C1. Oh, this is looking super dangerous.
Dangerous, yes, but it's unclear whether you get that much after the move queen to b6, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a game that we want to keep an eye on. Let's just check in on the game of arenas,
yes.
right? There, when we left it, remember we looked at knight takes d4. My first try, failed miserably, was knight f5, bishop takes f1. On the other hand, check this out, knight e6. Ooh, forcing the yes. Forcing the capture. Now you've lost castling privileges after bishop h5 check. King went to e7, queen a3 check, king to d7, king takes, bishop takes e5. Wow, black's king in the center, and Levon says, I don't mind. Is he right, though? I mean, this sure looks, I mean, it looks really, really dangerous. Not that my king is that great a shakes either. What's your impression at first blush?
I feel like black is living on the edge.
The dangerous life,
I
right?
mean, okay, knight takes 4.
Okay, so let's go, obviously, to
attack. Bring a new piece in.
You gotta defend it, kind of, right? Queen f6, can I upsy daisy and over?
That's one way. Also, I was
Do you
thinking,
have something else?
Yeah, I was also thinking move before, but I mean, probably you can do it now. D4, just
Queen c3.
Queen
Excuse me.
Queen c3. Oh,
That's a nasty.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, that's really bad. Shame on me. So I have to move back with the back with the knight.
But this is. But I tell you what I was thinking.
Please.
So instead of rook a1, I was thinking d4.
Let's go.
And if you go
backwards,
I go again.
d5.
Come take my pawn, and then you want to get safety for your king. I'm not going to go for that one.
Guess who picked up on the same thought process that you just had, Joviv, our defending champion Fabiano.
And guess
also
who started shaking his head? He doesn't like it.
Well,
he knows he's busted.
Well, where else am I supposed to move the knight?
No,
the
this
knight,
is busted.
The knight can't go to c4. This is the standard double attack. So I played knight c6, and I'm going to have to say, knight, I will
give you the pawn, and I will seize the defensive.
Seizing the defensive.
You're not seizing anything. Right? Look to d1. The only thing you're seizing is a handshake.
Yeah, and d5 comes immediately.
I'm seizing a handshake, huh?
Yeah.
Knight c6, d5. This looks devastating.
This is actually just simply over. Levon missed, go back a few moves. What he missed was knight to e6. This was the critical move.
Okay.
The critical intermezzo. Not king takes g2, but knight to e6. Now you have to take on e6, and I'm not going to take on g2. I'm going to throw in a check first.
Right.
That's the problem. By the way, he took on d5. We're going to see most likely bishop to g4 check. Right. Keep the king in the center to not allow it to go to b8.
Right.
And if you manage to do that, and you are managing to do that, then the game is pretty much over, because all of my pieces are, and look at Levon.
How is that king ever going to survive?
I don't
It's
think
not. The king is not surviving.
I don't think I've ever seen Levon have his king on these open highways right out of the opening. You just don't see this in his games. Because as black, he's super solid against 1 e4, and when he's playing d4 or against the English, he's usually playing e5. His king never gets stuck. So here, you've got to go king e8. That's the only legal move in the position. Rook check.
You're just having fun here, Yasser.
Exactly. And well, nothing like a good king hunt early in the morning to get the juices flowing, right?
By the way,
yes.
Is Blenier just simply a piece up now?
Oh, ooh, okay.
Okay, we're going to switch. We think Levon is busted.
But also Sam Shankland.
Again, these two players, well, those two games, I want to say, are in the rapid. And we've got the two classical games in the champions bracket. What's the most, I want to say, clinical kill here for Fabi, Christian?
Well, bishop g4 was played.
Yes, king e8 on the board.
King e8 is on the board. It does seem like bishop to h5 is...
So we
go back to d7 and now queen to h3 instead of bishop to g4.
Really?
This seems to be the best way, at least objectively according to the engine.
King d6?
King d6 and rook e1. And keep the bishop on h5 so that you control rook to e8. There's no more challenge on the e file, and now it's very, very difficult to hide the king. Queen to f6 is going to be met by queen swings back to the other side of the board. Take advantage of the dark squares on the a3, fa diagonal. And now that I have control of the e file, there's no more king to e8. So after bishop to g4. King to d8, now I can just simply go rook to d1, set up my cannons on the middle files, and yeah, this one is just pretty much over. You're playing without the rook on h8, the rook on a8, and the king is in the center with no escape path. So this one is pretty much busted if he finds queen to h3.
Wow, that's remarkable, because I was really eager to play the move bishop g4 and f4, frankly. I was thinking that I would, you talk about the cannons, and I basically wanted to open up the E file as well as the F file with F4.
Which is completely winning as
also,
well. Yes.
Okay.
Oh. Queen to f3, okay, all right.
Queen f3, let me refresh my board. That was...
A surprise?
Yes.
A very good move as well.
A very good move
very
as
good
well.
move as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Well, he's just
threatening bishop h.
Well, he's threatening with terribly crunchy.
That's.
Look, Levon needs to make moves fast, because right now his only chance in the position is put pressure on the clock.
Yeah.
If he manages to get Fabi down to his last couple of minutes with a complicated battle, even if the engine is saying that it's +6, +7, but with a very narrow path to get to the king, then he has a chance. If he doesn't take him down to his last couple of minutes, Fabi is going to have enough time to find the path forward. And yeah, that's going to spell doom for Levon.
Not that I believe it at all, but my first hope would be, you know, like, to play a move like rook h7, so at least I can protect my king.
So I'll give you a check. And this is what I think he wants to do with this move, queen to f3. He wants to give a check on e1.
A check on the e1?
On e1, yes, yes. I mean, I can also go... Now that you put the rook on h7, I can, in fact, go bishop to h5.
Bishop h5, and then
queen
f5. Or queen takes d5, yeah.
No, but the king comes to c8.
That's fine,
Still
but you lose...
alive.
Not for long.
Not for long.
Oh no!
Oh no! The rook.
Oh boy!
Okay.
Queen f3 looks pretty.
It's good.
Wow!
It's good
lots of paths to victory. Let's jump to the elimination bracket for another game that we haven't seen: Begum versus Atusha. Well, this terrible conditions. It still is the case. But it's not the handshake you really expected.
But wait 1 second.
Yes.
There's no count the pieces.
I know there's an extra piece for white.
Yeah.
But okay, I actually thought it was going to be mate.
Like that's true.
Checkmate. You know,
an extra piece should be enough. Right?
I understand,
At that level.
But there's a big difference between checkmate and an extra piece, right?
I mean, look, finally got your king to safety after so many moves. Your king goes to a7. You escaped. Congratulations.
True that.
Now you're a piece down.
I know. Well,
that's
so
the bad news.
Look. Give me some good news for a change.
There is no good news. The only good news is that your king is not getting checkmated.
That's what I was hoping.
That's the only thing you're looking forward to in life in this position.
Okay, well, I mean, it's those small things that...
It's harsh, but it's reality at this point.
By the way, the move queen takes g5, strangely enough, came with another threat of actually taking another pawn. Rook takes d5, like, for example, a4, rook takes d5, rook takes d5, queen takes d5, would actually just snare another pawn and just say, oops. We did see queen c2.
Wait. No, don't do that, Yasser. Rook takes f7 at the end. I have queen g5.
Queen g5.
Oh,
and
that's
this,
lovely.
boys and girls, is why you don't resign.
That's right. Where there's life, there's hope, right? Rook takes f7. Oh.
I mean,
that's
look, you're probably still winning.
I understand, but it's again,
that's
it's
not
not
what you want
the
to see.
checkmate, and it's not the extra piece that he currently enjoys. What he did do, Levon, pardon me, he did play queen c2.
By the way, that was a very crafty little trick that he could have tried.
Right.
Hey, how about you take on d5 another pawn?
Exactly. And in this case, I guess the problem is f2, or
so
why
if
can't
you
he
try
take
to
the
take
pawn?
on, but how do you do it?
Rook takes d5.
So I take back, you take back with the queen.
Only move.
Yeah, and
It
my
looks
guess
a
is
little
that he
bit
just wants
funny.
to go for the b2 pawn.
It's not, yeah, the easiest.
I guess he's...
It's not great,
Queen
but
takes
it is a
pawn or
piece,
something.
right?
Yeah, it is a piece. Yeah, no, here I'd probably just retreat the bishop and somehow expect my opponent to resign. I don't know. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this. Lanier is also a man who's a piece ahead, at least when we left it. Just here is when we left it, and...
This one feels on a different level. Yeah, he's a piece up, but, you know, black's pawns
what the
could
heck?
pretend to be menacing.
Can somebody help me out here? He played rook d2 followed by rook d6.
Finger fail.
Like, did he drop the rook on d2 on its way to d6? That's surprising. Okay, there are 3 connected pass pawns on the king side.
But the black
there
king
is a
is
bad
in trouble.
king,
There is
right?
a bad king, and also
And
the
2
pawns
bishops.
are stunted.
Yeah, bishop takes and bishop d4 on. I mean, this should be winning for white, but it all depends on how dangerous is the f-pawn, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I think I understand his point of rook d2.
Please explain.
He wanted to go bishop f2.
Rook d2 threatening
Bishop f2.
f2, and in case of bishop takes f2, then rook
Yeah.
takes g5, intermezzo check, king g7. But isn't the king better on g7 than it is on g8?
It is, my friend.
So why would I put the king on the better square? Like, help me. King g7, rook d6. Still winning, I would say, but okay, we'll keep an eye. And Christian, what do you have
Kicking
for us?
and screaming, definitely. It's Sam Shanklin right now. It's not over yet, right?
King, pardon me,
Rook to f6.
Rook f6.
So how do you do things right now?
I would be tempted to grab the pawn on a6, run with the a pawn.
How about this idea? Why don't we go bishop to d8?
Bishop to David 8.
That's going to stop.
Well, that
Then
stops me
that
from
forces
pushing.
me to go
And now
rook g6.
e5. I'm trying to get the bishop to f6 so that your f-pawn is not supported from behind by a rook.
But is it so dangerous? I mean, you can park the bishop on. Okay, I understand.
Park?
Yeah, I know. Okay, so no, he's
E5
going
first,
for
okay.
e5.
Similar idea. Where are you going to move the rook? Is the problem?
Well, if you go to f5, I go bishop to d3.
He's
So
gone
he goes to
rook g6?
g6 directly.
Okay,
So
but,
he's
no
basically
squares,
saying, Bishop, go ahead and take my rook.
which you say yes.
I'm not sure if he
please,
says
with
that,
pleasure.
but
Well, I mean,
because
this
the bishop is got an eye on it
on f2.
Yes.
Yeah. So
There
bishop
you go,
d3.
bishop d3.
Well, I'm expecting h5, g4, f3. Go ahead, take the rook.
Make my day.
Well, pardon me, rook d7
yeah,
check is.
no, he's going for h5.
Well, rook d7 check
But then you
is
can
an
hide
issue.
your king on h6.
Yeah, no, he has to go for h5 at this
He
point.
does. He does. I suddenly realized that after, for example, h5, check, king, rook, it's a kind of a zugzwang. You can't push the g-pawn, f-pawn is hanging. You can't move the rook, rook g7, rook here, or rook h7 mate. So it's like you're stuck. You're just stuck. And, well,
You can go bishop g3.
he's done h5, but rook check and rook f7 looks like bishop to g3.
Yeah, bishop g3 is possible.
Bishop to g3 is possible.
Yeah, that's my one move. Now the h-pawn is coming.
It's actually really funny because I really did want to play rook takes f4. And it was the only move to stop rook f4. Your hand accidentally found the one way to stop me from carrying out my threat. That's a very nice move, bishop g3. And yeah, well, again, where there's life, there's hope, right? h3.
That h-pawn, okay. Let's try to finish the game somehow.
I know, yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's go bishop c5, right?
Yes.
I'm going to try to take both of your rooks.
Well, this is actually a very nice line too, right?
Yes, precisely.
Ooh.
So who's first?
Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to give up everything.
That's okay.
You go.
I'll have to do it.
Yeah.
h3, keep going.
h3, keep going.
But the f7.
Rook somewhere. I run away from you.
Yeah, but then you go
f8 equals
f8, queen. Look at this.
Nobody said it's going to be pretty. King h5.
Yeah, run.
Yes. That's a lot of pawns, though, you know.
Well.
G4.
Okay.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on this one, but let's go to the classical game between Hikaru and Wesley, because that game is actually headed towards a draw.
It looks like it's, accelerating as fast as possible to a draw, which is ironic because these two are the only ones, obviously in the open section, playing a classical game.
Exactly.
And they're the ones finishing first.
Right. Okay, we did see this whole d4 business, f6. We anticipated the f6, and there was a massive trades and they just accelerated themselves to this knight and pawn ending. And yeah, well, I mean, a draw really just feels inevitable at this moment. So not a big attempt by Hikaru today with the white pieces.
You know what I reckon? I think they're going to decide it all in tie breaks.
Well, when we saw that graphic of how they match up in classical, Hikaru said, "I don't like my chances in the classical. Let's take it to the rapid and the blitz."
We've seen them do this countless times. They prefer to.
And here's the graphic that
there you can see.
Christian actually showed us.
And in the classical matchups, when these two play, you can see that there's been one win for Hikaru, 4 victories for Wesley So. But in the rapid matchups, I mean, so many draws, but also a lot of points scored.
I was about to say, I mean, you have these books, the 100 best games. These two guys could write 2 books based on all their games, and I bet you they've been really, really good. They're going to be looking for a 3-time repetition, no question about it. Let's jump back to the game of Fabi and Levon for just a moment, because our defending champion was up a piece. And let's see, we left it at queen c2. We left it at queen c2. King went back, queen e5, queen a4. Well, I must say, with this trade of queens, that kind of made things a little bit easier, I want to say, for Fabi.
So a4, is that he's just trying to put the pawn on b5, like rook takes c4? What do you do after?
I was about to say, rook takes e4 certainly has my attention.
I mean, that was the first move that would come to my attention as well.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, why not? Why get distracted by pawns? Can you not just start lifting your h-pawn?
True.
Okay, he takes his pawn.
These guys are greedy.
Yes.
Yes.
They see a pawn, they snatch it.
Absolutely.
B5, I mean,
okay.
h4, isn't it time?
It's probably time to go, yeah.
Or
h4 is...
Or maybe you could be, like, super careful.
That's what I'm thinking.
Protect your little guys. Rook b4.
That might be a little bit over, but I was thinking like I can turn the turn my attention b3.
B3.
Protecting the little guys.
It seems you are also very greedy, Jovi.
Yes. Well, she's been sitting beside me for the last 4 or 5 days.
Terrible influence.
Osmosis is really taking over. And suddenly, capture the pawn.
Right. No. But that actually, you appeal to my base instinct as a yes.
Good.
No, this is hopeless.
Basic instinct?
Base instinct. Base instinct.
I just wanted to make sure that we're...
Basic instinct.
just wanted to be...
I think we should return the conversation to
yes,
chess.
exactly.
Slowly somehow.
How about B3? That's a great move. B2, B3, protecting the little guys. This looks like Fabi is cruising.
Yes.
He will win. And let's see that game with Sam. And look at this.
Wow.
H5, check. Rook F7. Lanier just picked right up.
Okay, and also Fabiano Caruana played a rather convincing game, I have to say, against Levon Aronian. And to start off his quest to stay alive in the elimination bracket.
I think maybe not in the rapid games, perhaps. He just
Okay.
picked his water.
Okay, I need help.
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Jovi.
Yeah. And,
Come to my rescue, please. What am I supposed to be doing? Ah!
E4, E5, okay.
You clicked.
Yes. Open
We're
you
seeing
full
a
screen,
Ruy
and
Lopez.
then I don't know how I always.
Okay. So they're off. Again, Levon needs a win as white. He's Royal Lopez, and Colin's favorite.
Perhaps he's taking some inspiration from yesterday's match between Wesley and Fabi, because Wesley chose a similar path to try to take the advantage out of the opening against Fabi, and he succeeded in doing so.
Yeah. I mean, is this wise to repeat the same line
There's
that
a
you
wrinkle.
played and lost yesterday?
There is a wrinkle. I believe Wesley went castle first instead of D3. So he went directly with castle, and after that defended that pawn on E4 in a different manner. Now we see this D3 move, B5, bishop to B3.
Bishop to, sorry.
Yes, you have the position right now on the board.
I think I need to figure out how to minimize my screen here.
No, you're all good. This is the position.
It's all good.
Yeah, this is the position. But,
This is the position we
the
currently
analysis
have.
board is not perfectly.
See,
and that was the question. I
D6.
always have to ask, is D5 playable in those positions? But
Fabi says no.
No.
No. I'm going to follow it up with D6. By the way, this was played yesterday. Wasn't this
Precisely.
the exact same position?
Yes, it was exactly the same.
H6.
H6, bishop takes F6. This is how
You got into
Wesley...
trouble.
Not yet, I think. I think it was A4, bishop B7 first.
yes.
And then bishop G5, take on F6, and bishop to D5 to set up that
And
pin on
I
the
anyhow-
stand
diagonal.
corrected. I think you were
Anyhow.
right. A4, bishop B7, bishop G5 is how Wesley got here. Sorry,
But we
Jovi.
have a different game right now, because after H6, he decided against bishop takes F6, but with bishop to H4, maintaining that pin.
And
Big moment right now.
It
Will
is-
you play G5?
well,
Yes.
that's the top move. And according to my understanding of this particular variation, you go for it.
Right.
It's that kind of combative opening, you know. You don't
Which is
shy
what-
away from those big decisions. Go for it. G5.
But isn't this also what and he's
Fabi
done
does it.
Yeah, and without hesitation, bishop G3, no piece sacrifices for you. We've all been on both sides of those piece sacrifices, but G5, bishop G3, very, very quickly. Levon, I think, is still in his prep. And after
Yeah.
that came just a second.
A4. A4 came. Levon.
No, bishop B6,
Sorry,
A4.
bishop B6, yeah.
Yeah, this is
A4.
and we're up to date with the players
Yeah.
now.
And still, we are in the realms of theory, not the most highly played theory, I have to say, but the most popular move, according to this database,
B4,
B4,
bishop G4,
bishop
rook,
G4, rook B8.
even bishop D7 has had a punt or two.
Rook B8 was the move chosen by Fabi, followed by knight to D2, immediately responded by Levon.
Knight, that's a little bit surprising because in conjunction with the move A4, somehow I had it in my mind that he was going to go AB, knight to A3, and maybe start to swing the knight around towards the F5 square. Knight D2 right away.
Knight to h7. Fabiano is looking for something. The question is what? Is it king to g7 followed by f5? Or is it h5? h5 is an option as well.
Wow. Knight to h7. Okay, the players are still in theory. Let's jump to the game of Sam, Shankland, and Lanier. As we know, Sam is in a similar boat. He needs to win if he wants to stay in the tournament. And positions. You do give your opponent the center a little bit. While we keep the bird's eye view there, I was just seeing the game of Levon and Fabi, again, boldly stating the obvious. Levon needs to win. And when we left it, it was just here. And we had seen the move knight h7. And Christian was saying, well, is this a prelude to king g7 followed by f5? Well,
king
Christian knows his man because, yes, it was f5 on the board. EF, bishop f5, knight e3.
This is truly a titanic theoretical battle between these two players because, and to my eyes, Levon maybe has won the theoretical battle.
Why is that?
Because he spent less time. It's very straightforward. There's nothing complex about this, Yasser.
Wow. Okay.
He just spent less time. He's playing everything with confidence.
Right.
And he seems to know what he's doing.
And what is Levon doing, by the way? What is his plan? Bishop g6.
On the board.
On the board. What is he going to play for d4? Is he supposed to play for knight d5 to try to snag on that bishop? What is Levon's aims in the position?
Well, it seems like knight to d5 is appealing, right? Let's go for the bishop. That bishop is always very annoying whenever it's coupled with the action of the rook on f8 with an open f5, right? Because f2 is quite tender.
Right.
Why not take it away from the board? Knight to d5.
Take it away now. I like that.
Can you hide
it?
Can you hide it anywhere? Like
no, I mean, you can go bishop a7, but it's loose.
Well, the one thing I wouldn't want to do is I wouldn't want to encourage white to play the move d4, which would open up the e file. I was thinking that maybe I could return the favor by pinning. There was a bishop to g5, pinning the knight. Now it's my turn to pin your knight. How about bishop h5?
Actually, bishop h5 is nice as well because
it's annoying.
It is super annoying because if you do manage bishop takes knight, which you will, then you've locked out the bishop, and then you go like, okay, let's play positionally, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the Capablanca winter game where it was this bishop on g3, which was hideous. I love that word, hideous, for the rest of the game. It was like a piece down. So maybe knight d5 needs to be prepped?
No, knight d5 is a great move.
And how do we answer bishop h5 then?
You're going to lose the bishop on g3. This is what you need to understand as white. You are going to take on f3, h5, h4. Now, what do I do to prepare for that? I need to open up the position. Your king is pretty feeble on h8, the black king. d4, let's go. Open up the position.
You don't take the bishop.
I'm not going to take the bishop yet.
Okay.
I'm going to keep the knight on d5 for the moment.
Okay. Now, I agree with you that all I need is a draw, which is why I'm going to sacrifice my piece.
Are you sure about that? All right, I take on. I'll take your piece. Look, you give me the piece, I'll take it.
Okay.
No, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
All I need is a draw.
Why don't
But I never play for a draw when I need a draw because that's a way of losing the game.
Exactly, and you kind of change your mindset to a negative predisposition. You don't want to be doing that.
Exactly.
So what if I defend with the move rook to e3 now?
Wow.
Do we have the knight on d5?
Yes, you have a knight on d5.
I see something in the center. So that can only be
well, that's your extra piece. But boy, I was hoping to intimidate. You know, these coaches, they're not easily intimidated. I would be fretful, let's put it that way, if I had the white position. How do you feel, JB?
Right.
Are you inspired?
Let me tell you.
Inspired by my piece sacrifice?
Yeah, I'm very inspired. But I mean, I'm a little bit concerned that he can return the favor.
Let me put a cap on your fun.
Okay.
I'm not going to go rook to e3.
You're not?
No, no. Take.
You're going to sacrifice your queen?
No, I'm going to sacrifice my rook. Rook takes e5.
Yeah, this is what I was concerned about.
I need to get to your king.
Exactly.
Wow.
I really need to get to your king.
But
That's
I
my
think
only
you have
goal
to
in the
say
position.
No.
Yeah, but queen takes d4 is frightening.
knight.
So I have to take this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, and
And
I'm assuming he's going to take.
taking? Yes, yes.
And then I take this guy.
And what if I continue taking?
And this is the problem.
takes.
You said my king was feeble
And it is.
on
Very
h8,
feeble.
and boy, did that ever turn out to be prescient.
Yes.
You're right. You're right. Well, you see, my inner tactical wizardry really did work.
You guys are probably going to be surprised by this, but it seems like white is, in fact, objectively winning right now.
After the move knight d5?
After knight to d5, yeah.
Wow.
The engine is giving white a decisive advantage.
Wow.
No way.
And just to
All
remind everyone, this is
Yeah.
exactly what Levon Aronian needs. You know, he is in a must-win situation.
Exactly. So so we were talking about the theoretical battle, and you had said, you know, it was about the clock and so on, but it's shocking because what did Fabi do in the previous 18 moves that was wrong?
He chose the wrong plan of opening up white's position. And we were discussing this, and we were kind of balancing between either f5 or h5. This idea of knight to h7 made a lot of sense because you do want to support the pawn on g5. He chose the wrong one. He played the move f5. h5 was the right solution. Well, solution, just the right continuation of the game.
Right approach.
Yes.
f5 was wrong.
No, terrible. After f5, in fact, white is just much, much better. With specifically the moves that Levon made. Knight to e3, follow it up with the natural move, knight to d5, jump in the center, set up all your pieces on their ideal squares. And right now, the pressure is on Fabiano Caruana.
Okay, and we'll switch quickly to see the game of Sam Shanklin again. This Petrov, boy, I got to tell you. And actually, this bishop on g3 is no longer terrible.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a
beast.
great bishop.
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful. If I were white and I could play f3 here and deny the e4 square for the knight, I would think that I'm winning.
It is winning.
Yeah. So in light of that, can you do something? Like, for instance, go
Well, you better do something.
Knight h5.
Yeah, I was about to say, you better do something in the immediacy because I can see the rooks are ready to pounce. Let's
Okay, I've said.
Yes.
I've stated my intentions. Okay, now the queen. I really want to trade off some pieces, so I have to go.
I understand.
No,
You
I'm not
want to
getting
trade
anywhere.
queens.
I want to trade queens, but I can't do. I say, okay, queen.
Say it. F6.
Queen
Yeah.
f6. Yeah, but you just. That's
I
an
play
easy,
f3.
easy block to parry.
Yes, that is absolutely true. An
it comes
easy
to
threat to
e6.
parry. Yeah.
None of this will happen because Fabiano is looking for an immediate counter shot.
Yeah.
And that is with the move b4.
Which is what he played after queen d1, b4.
But what about rook to e6? Doesn't that
Rook
closer
e6
and
looks
closer to the
very
capture
compelling.
of that pawn on
Oh my
d6?
goodness, rook e6 looks very compelling.
Even though
Okay, pawn takes pawn.
Take.
Perhaps
B
bishop
takes
f7 might
c3,
be a
B
problem.
takes c3. Pawn takes pawn.
I think it must be a British thing because I mean.
No,
I
it's
always
American
say-
too. We say
I
pawn
say-
takes,
Really?
even though we're supposed to be algebraically trained these days. But yeah, it's still part of our.
But what about bishop f7 right now?
Thank you. Bishop f7, rook takes.
Exchange.
Rook takes. Sorry, bishop takes b3. Apologies. Okay, which means the highly desirable rook e6.
Let's go with your move, Yasser. I think I really like. I'm starting to warm up to your idea of rook a7.
Rook a7 or f3. Okay, rook a7.
Let's just invade. I mean, let's be aggressive.
Aggression.
Aggression.
I must win. I must win.
Yeah. Okay, but you can just go pawn takes pawn first. Sorry,
BC.
BC.
Yeah.
Knight now just springs forward.
Oh wait, do you have
E4.
queen b8? Wait, do you have queen b8?
I'm.
A queen b8.
That's a double attack, right?
Well, that training is sure paying.
Yeah, you have some tricks, and that's why he played b4. He's really looking for those counter shots.
Very instructive, but what is also very concerning on a practical level, I mean, take a look at Levon Aronian's clock, 20 minutes versus Fabiano's under 8 minutes.
That's not good.
Not a good sign.
Let me fall back on the old, you know, like, I'm playing two bishops. I'm going to play the Steinitzian way of preventing the knight from having a good outpost. I'll play the move f2, f3, and just give you the turn and say, do your worst. How do you follow up your move b4?
Perhaps I will take on c3.
Yes. He played bishop c2, but yes, you would take on c3 in this case and
try to go for knight h5.
Knight h5. So now my bishop can lord over the position with bishop to c4.
No, it's really a very sad position.
It is. But having said all of this, bishop c2, Levon had a very simple idea. He wants to put his queen on g6.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bishop takes c2, queen takes c2, followed by queen g6 would be a dream for white. So
and how do you stop me from achieving that dream?
Well. There's
That's what I wanted to ask Jovi.
Yes. I have an idea.
Okay.
So you take, as
Yes.
Fabi's done, queen takes.
Yes.
And now you remember the fundamental principles of
Trade
chess.
queens.
Trade queens. And Fabi's following the rules. So when the queen didn't
Land
arrive on
g6,
g6, you're ready to go queen g7. Let's trade.
I like it.
Okay, but in that case, d6 is going to be hanging.
So let's go
So
with AD1.
I'm going to take and put the question to you. Would you like to take with the rook and allow queen g6? So queen g7, I got bishop takes d6 at the end. Or do you want to play with a pawn, which looks pathetic?
Yeah, I don't want that. So hang on, yes.
It looks like a nasty choice that Levon can put to his opponent right here with c3 takes b4.
Yes, and I have to say, if Fabiano loses this one, he will have to do something different in the next game whenever he's going to have black, because he's had problems in this variation against
Wesley. And
he's having huge problems right now against Levon. He needs to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And
whoops,
I think that's not this one.
First of all, just remember that in the classical game, we have a draw.
Yeah. And
they will
everything to play for tomorrow
with
in the
colors
Champions
reversed.
bracket, and a very classical game tomorrow, it'll be decided. And these two.
Wow,
Yeah,
look at that
that.
Wow, first of all, 51. Whoa, 51 games of rapid play. Boy, they know each other very well.
And 17 wins for Levon, whereas Fabi's had 11 wins. Wow.
Wow, I mean, yeah, shocking result. The current position, though, Christian, if I can get you to jump in and tell us what the engine thinks. It really looks like Black's in trouble because of his exposed king and lots of weaknesses.
Not
that
trouble. No.
It's bad.
He's completely lost.
It's toast.
It's over. Yeah, it's toast.
Okay.
It's plus 4 pawns.
By what?
4 pawns right now. A 4-pawn advantage.
By the way, c3 takes b4, pawn takes, and not queen g6, but just easy
Centralize
chess.
the queen. Simple chess. Go to d4.
Oof.
And your idea is still
it's
in the
looking
air as well.
ugly.
F3, bishop f2, put the bishop on d4.
I love
That
that.
is
Beautiful.
the most beautiful queen
Oof.
I've seen since the tournament began.
Yeah.
That queen on d4 attacks the knight on
radiates
f6, attacks the
energy,
pawn on
doesn't it?
d6, supports the invasion on the 7th rank with rook to a7, attacks the pawn on b4. It does everything.
Well, besides all that, what have you done for me lately? Yeah, I agree. That is a radiant queen. Sam Shanklin in a must-win situation. Anything good happening for him?
No. That one is
not even
going
close.
anywhere. Lanier has neutralized his opening initiative, and right now he's in pole position. Take this one and take the match home.
For Tatev, again, she lost the first game with the black pieces. She needs a win against Nagy, the two-time U.S. Women's Champion. She just played the move Queen F5. I kind of like that move. She's saying, go ahead, you want to trade pieces, but do it on my terms. I get to put my bishop a little bit more frightening on...
But Queen C8?
Yeah, and I was hoping that I'd have a severely good follow-up.
And I don't know, I'm not a big fan of sopping off pieces because, you know...
There is one thing I will say. I always love these pawn storms, you know, where you get to go rook to D1, B5. It's not fun in games for black to be facing, defensively speaking.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I mean, it's not draw.
No, it's not draw, but at the same time, you know, black does have a problem with this pawn storm, but white has a big weakness on D4. And that's something that, you know, if I were playing black, I would
immediately
jump on
try
that
to
one
jump.
immediately.
Yeah, so for example, you would go here, and you
absolutely.
would more or less require me to defend.
Yeah, and then I would start to, you know, start expanding on the king side.
Something like the F5, yeah?
Yeah, F5.
And I'll expand.
Yeah, and then, come on, push it back.
What's that?
G5, yeah.
G5. Okay.
This is my language. And then, come on, F6.
Wow.
I'm biting on everything.
You're really... And here, by the way, is the elimination brackets as Begum just needs a draw to see her way into the next match.
And that one is definitely going her way because...
Is it? Let's
look at the
to
position
that.
right now.
Okay.
Atusa hasn't gotten anywhere close to her opponent's king, and
by the way,
Begum is on C3.
We didn't get in H5, we didn't get in G5, we didn't even get in F4 G5, and we're already seeing a black pawn on C3. That's not good.
No, certainly
in the race
black has
to the
got
king,
the first strike in, and also, you know, if you're seeing B3, then A5, A4 is going to rattle down the board.
But rook E1 is an indication to me that white's not a happy camper. Just the fact that we can take on B2 means that white's king is permanently damaged. Now,
and you probably don't even want to take on B2.
I know.
I really like that pawn on C3.
The pawn is such a wedge, right?
So bishop E6. Maybe you can take on E1 first and then go bishop to E6. You have so many options.
No, this is actually looking very, very, very good for Begum, who again
now
needs only a draw.
Pawn takes pawn in the air.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I have a feeling some queen D5 to force you to go B3 and then A5, A4 might checkmate you if you don't pay close attention to it.
So if for argument's sake, yes, she's traded once. Go H5. You were about to.
What about pawn takes pawn?
Pardon me?
Take pawn takes pawn, right? Then you get in that way.
And then queen D5.
And then queen
yes,
D5,
you can.
queen C.
Yes, you can.
You're in, my friends.
Open invitation, agreed.
Yeah, no, this one is...
looking very, very good for Begum.
Also on time. 4 minutes and 40 seconds for Atusa, 15 minutes for Begum right now. And she only needs a draw in this game.
Nothing like having a better position and draw odds in your favor. You just feel really, really good. Once again, let's jump to the game between Levon and Aronian because we may be seeing another playoff. Should Levon win, then they would play
10 minutes. 2 games of 10 minutes plus 5-second increments.
Gotcha.
And if the match is still tied after those 2 accelerated rapid games, then we go on to the blitz. Where it'll be 2 games of 3 minutes plus 2 seconds. And finally, I really am hoping
for an Armageddon.
I want to see those pieces fly. I want to see the panic on the players' faces. I want to take chess back to the streets.
Right? F2, F3. Look at him go, because we mentioned that queen on D4 is radiant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous looking queen. But also, with this move F2, F3, you know, the bishop isn't going to be too badly placed either on the square d4. That would just be, and recognizing that the rook was actually misplaced on b6, rook c6, but I see a slight shake of Fabi's head there. He's not enjoying his position.
He's not enjoying at any level. I mean, the clock times are not in his favor. He's only got 3.5 minutes, and it's going down. Levon has 16 minutes.
So how do we do it? Do we go h4 or?
Yeah, h4 makes a lot of sense. Bishop f2.
Boy, once you see that rook, you know, like tickling that pawn on g5, how do you not play h4?
But you can do it. You can do it at leisure. You can go h4 now.
He's very clinical, because h4 allowed rook to c5, and that's why he played bishop to f2.
h4 allowed rook to c5.
Yes, challenged the rook on the 5th rank with tempo.
Makes sense. Okay, so that was why bishop f2, a prelude to h4.
Yes.
And rook to e7. Jovi, you have a golden rule when attacking. Don't trade pieces. No trades. Do we like rook a1 or do we like rook d1?
Rook d1.
Rook d1.
You didn't.
He didn't give us
the chance to really get into the spirit of it. But rook d1 looks good.
It looks good. You know, tying the rook to d6, but also, you know, h4 is on tap.
Bishop. Actually, I don't mind lassoing this pawn either. Like rook, this pawn on b4 is a real weakness, and rook b5 followed by rook takes b4 got my vote.
What about rook f5 followed by bishop to d4?
Got my vote. Queen e6. Okay, Fabi says enough of this nonsense. I need counterplay. Queen e6. Not going down without a fight.
How do I stop your... Okay, bishop to d4, right? It feels like I have to get closer and closer to your king.
Looks like a very good start, because you are planning the desirable rook f5. And that would be huge.
Can you survive if you go queen to e2?
I doubt it, right? Oof. Just feels like this should not
take on d3 and then
be working.
Play rook to e6 and try to hang on for dear life.
Yeah, it just feels like it shouldn't be working, but okay. You know, no, king f1, queen c4, golden rule number 1. Trade the queens.
Trade the queens.
h4?
H4 makes a lot of sense, softening up the king.
Exactly. H4, I don't think you have time for queen e2, h takes g5. H4, and if you play g4 now, it's a different kettle of fish, because the f-file can easily be opened. H4 looks like a very powerful move. Levon enjoying the moment.
Yes.
And what are the clock times?
The clock times, I'll just bring them up for you. So they are, Fabi has just under 3 minutes, whereas Levon Aronian has just under 15 minutes. So it's
lots of time.
Stark difference in that.
But still, I mean, he has to finish him off.
Exactly.
Who said that? That the most difficult thing in chess is
to win a winning position.
Hans Ray. No, Hein Donner.
Hein Donner? No, I mean, it's such a famous quote. I think it's, you got to go back, Tartikover or something like that. You got to go way, way, way back. These guys are clever.
Yeah, I remember the Donner quote was like, give me any position, give me a worse position, give me a losing position, give me, and I'll turn them around, but give me a winning position. Nah.
Can't handle it.
Can't handle that one.
It's the winning positions that really throw me off. The losing positions, I understand completely. Drawn positions, I get those. Nice. Really one of the great quotable. And he did play h4. And by the way, very quickly, g5 takes h4. I mean, cover your eyes, but wow, that is really ugly.
And I think we're just about to see most likely the end of that game of Atusa versus Begim.
All right.
Right now, because Atusa is down to her last 2 minutes, but I think the writing is on the wall on this one.
Yeah,
we left it. He captured the pawn on h4, and whoa, bishop takes h4.
They do say these 2800s are difficult to kill.
That's right.
And I'm looking at this position, I'm thinking, well, hang on a second.
Not that easy anymore. Not that easy anymore, right?
What?
No.
What? That I was about to say it was nice to be able to lasso that b pawn. Maybe it's time just to play rook b5, make sure that rook b5 looks like a very good move.
And it does seem like Shanklin and Lanier are repeating, which means that Lanier moves on, wins the match, and eliminates Sam Shanklin from the competition.
Well, Sam certainly came very, very well prepared. His preparation really remains world class. But, well, Lanier.
Yeah, Lanier, he remains in the competition, and he played a great first game.
He did.
He really, when he saw the opportunity to strike, he took it. And, well, he will be awaiting, Lanier Dominguez that is, will be awaiting the victor of this particular matchup. Fabiano Caruana against Levon Aronian. And this one looked like it was completely in Levon's hands. He was in full control, but now not so easy. And Fabi is playing with just over 1 minute.
And those developments that you were talking about in the elimination brackets, here they are.
Yes, and we can see the first person through to the next stage is Begin Tokenjanova, and she will be awaiting the victor of the match between Nasi Pakitsa and Tatev Abrahamian. And we also have Lanier Dominguez also making it through to the next stage, and they will also be waiting for the next person, the next winner of Caruana and Aronian.
We love this bishop coming to the d4 square, and I think Levon has found the perfect setup. He wants to play the move rook f8, tickling the knight, allowing, therefore, when the knight moves, to play rook to g4, and it's the black king that's going to get netted in a checkmating attack. So I love this move, rook a8.
What if I
Christian.
bite the bullet?
Yes.
And go knight h5? I know, I'm probably going to get checkmated. I'm probably going to get checkmated, but I need to do something.
Okay, so check.
Oh,
he's played king g5.
King g5.
I was about to say, desperate times call for desperate measures. King g5.
I would do g3 very quickly, unless there's something wrong.
g3, there's a back rank mate.
Oh,
so it's bishop to e5, actually.
Rook to e6, is that a move?
Absolutely.
Can I continue tickling you like that?
Absolutely. Whoa.
This is not that easy anymore.
Wait a minute. Rook a8 might have been a blunder. Whoa. At first, I saw it and I thought, oh, rook f8, what are you going to do? Well, we saw what he could do. King g5 might have let him escape.
Wow.
Bishop to e5.
He forgot about that move, king to g5.
Maybe rook e6. Oh, I can move my rook.
He played rook e6.
I can play rook to b4?
You can.
In order to meet rook takes with f4 check.
And now the big question comes. Can I play rook takes?
f4 check.
King g4.
Check.
King g3.
But I was just going to say there's a rook check behind, but there isn't.
You have to go rook a1, right?
Rook a1 is forced.
King f1?
King f1 is also a move, yeah.
Because I do have, like you said, I'm waiting for a check from behind.
It does seem like you're escaping with white, and that should give you the decisive advantage.
Oof. But again, Levon has to win, so he can't make some decision like bishop takes rook takes f6 like that.
And how are we doing on time? Fabiano, how many seconds does he have left?
He has 20 seconds left.
20 seconds against 10 minutes for Levon. Rook to d4.
Rook to d4. Not allowing the exchange sacrifice that you
Bishop takes d4.
Mentioned.
But now
It is still white who has the dominant position.
It's true. It is a dominant position.
That
but
bishop on d4 is such a
fantastic piece. And also he's going to round up the b3 pawn with rook b.
Yeah, but it's you know, when there were more pieces on the board, I think it was much more clear. Now I feel like our defending champion.
Wait a minute, can I play f4? Is that winning a piece?
You're absolutely right. f4 check is winning a piece because king g6 walks into rook a6, king f5 walks into rook f8.
And after rook to e6, I have g4.
Oh my word.
I think that wins a piece.
But hang on a second, if you go g4, I mean...
I actually think you're just winning the king and pawn endgame too.
Yeah.
You know, something as simple and as sedate as this and this and this. You just trade rooks and then bring... Oop, that was my mouse slip. My bad, I apologize. And then you bring your king. And that must be...
yes, that seems winning.
So...
I think f4 just finishes the game, guys.
F4 check. It could be a clinch.
That might be it.
A clincher.
Yes. Rook to e2 was
and
one tad too aggressive.
I suspect that Fabi sees it, and he's trying to keep the poker face. You know, he's trying not to alert his opponent.
Oh, they both see it. Yes, yes, yes. Levon is just calculating the exact line that he just showed right now to make sure that he can blast off a sequence of moves very quickly in the position.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
and that's going to mean, if Levon takes this one home, that we're going to see
another
blitz.
The playoff will continue.
Yeah, in
excuse
1
me,
hour
not
there
minutes.
will be
We're
a
going to see
playoff.
10 minutes plus 5 seconds increment.
That's right.
Our apologies to Arena Crush, Alice Lee fans, and he's missed it. He missed
rook to f4. Excuse me, rook to d8 is the move that he chose,
which isn't terrible. I mean, it freezes the knight, and ooh,
with 1 second on his clock, he played h5.
We saw this last year, Jeffrey Zhang, 1 second, and again, f4 should be that winning moment, but he missed it the first time. He's probably going to play rook to d6. Yeah.
Yes, but honestly, that's such a powerful move as well. There's no more. You don't even have knight to h5 with the pawn on h5 anymore.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
So you have to go backwards on h7, but...
Now we take a pawn with check, our favorite living condition. Yeah, we're a pawn up.
Yeah. This is...
Are there any tricks with the king snaking forward?
I suspect not, because the problem is that this bishop is ready to, you know, defend the dark squares, if you will. And he did, in fact, after rook takes d5, he moved back with the king to g6. Not that this is any great shakes. What's better than being 1 pawn up?
2 pawns up.
That's right. And rook to b5.
Okay, but I have an idea for Fabi. You know,
yes.
I'm thinking it's obviously a pipe dream for the time being.
Yes.
But if he can somehow get h4, knight comes to g5 and then h3, you know, just to disturb White's pawn structure a little bit. And that was a pipe dream indeed, because it's going to be over. It was a pipe dream,
but a good one. And I think Levon said, you know what, the one thing I want to avoid is h4, h3. And so he played rook h5. And after rook e7, I think it's inertia.
I think that is f4 wins right now.
Keeping Fabi playing.
f4 followed by bishop to f6.
But if
that finishes the game, right?
f4,
or am I missing something? f4, king takes f4, bishop f6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Isn't there some
You know, I'd probably at the board see the move f4. And I couldn't bring myself to play it.
F4 on the board?
You know, I would probably play king f2 and say, you know, like, look, I'm just going to enjoy my I worked hard for the 2 pawns, but he did play f4. Well spotted, Christian.
Yeah.
King takes f4, bishop f6, and this check is just...
It just goes to show how powerful the bishop is in an endgame with an open center and an open position. that bishop on d4 was just simply controlling.
But hang on a second. Hang on. Wait one second.
Yes.
Isn't there rook e6? And you're going to meet bishop takes knight
but
with
rook
king.
To h6 now.
Ah, that's why you guys are grandmasters.
Hey, you know.
It was close. It was close, but okay.
What?
He got his.
Oh, well,
That's the pawns.
he found a trick like you were trying as well, but 2 pawns is really sad.
It's too much.
Yes.
Okay.
2 pawns. And I do have the table base in front of me, and it does say that it's winning.
Okay.
Which doesn't come as a shock.
Well, thank goodness for that, right?
King f2, rook to d2. Now every single king move wins. King e3. Gift me the pawn, but unfortunately your king is a bit too far away from the action.
Very instructive.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't. Instructive? Are you crazy? You gave up his extra pawn?
But look how he cut off the black king. You know, he doesn't need to calculate anymore. All he needs to do is just
b4 king,
run
king
with the
d3.
king. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's all you need to remember, and then
teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. You know, you just rush with the king. And black's king is just far away from the action.
Boy, but I would have nursed those 2 extra pawns for quite a while, I must say. Tatev, how is she doing as this game is now technically winning? Whoa, holy smokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And Levon has won. And in an hour's time, they'll play a very quick rapid, or will it be a blitz?
No, it'll be a very quick rapid. 10 minutes plus 5 seconds.
Got it.
And then, you know, if the match is still tied, then we are going to see the 3 minutes plus 2 seconds.
Tata fighting for her life. Can she do it, Christian?
Well, I don't
Kind of
think...
says. You know, it really depends on the black pieces. I mean, how they handle that. We saw yesterday Fabiano crashed out to Wesley So, you know, because he was very shaky with the black side of an Archangel. What is he going to do now? Players are ready. Huh?
Petrov. I think Fabiano is going to go down to his lost love, the Petrov.
Right.
And he had such great games in the Petrov, such great results back in the days in the Petrov. Recently, he's more of a Rui Lopez, Italian Arhangels, and a lot of iterations of the Rui Lopez. But who knows? He can still play the Petrov. I can guarantee you that.
The players seem to be very chatty with one another as they get ready for this crucial elimination playoff. They're just like, hey, man, it's good to see you. Yeah, you're looking fine.
Exactly.
Well, it was interesting. Yesterday, we went to dinner with Fabi, his second. Begim was also there, my student. And we went somewhere close to Levon's place, where he lives. And he was walking, strolling around, and he saw us in the restaurant window. He came inside, and he invited all of us to tea. And then Fabi said, no.
I'm going to play you tomorrow.
I'm playing you tomorrow. We need to keep some distance between ourselves, at least until this match is over.
Exactly. Yeah. And, well, Levon has been pretty stubborn with his 1e4 in this event. He's tried his best. We expect e4 once again. And will we see the Petrov? Yes, no, quick.
Yes, no, oh. Christian,
no Petrov,
you got it wrong.
And look at this. I mean, I'm telling you, these players believe in their openings. They're stubborn.
Okay.
No more Archangels.
No more Archangel.
No more Bishop c5.
Right. And do you just play Bishop E? No,
G6.
Okay.
G6.
Maybe borrowing a page from Shaq Namidarov with his G7, G6 lines?
Yes, why not? And it works against White's c4 as well as White's c3. It's an interesting wrinkle.
Right. Well, normally in the Rui Lopez, White is not playing d3, d4. So oftentimes when you're trying to play g6, fianchetto, you face a breakout in the center with d4, which is a little awkward. In this particular case, you don't have such worries because the pawn's still on d3. Knight to d7, intimating that f7, f5 is on black's agenda, right?
The same type of ideas, right, that we've seen previously. We've seen those with the bishop on the other side of the board in the previous game. And black, Fabiano, that had huge problems with his king's safety. Now with the bishop on g7, the king feels much more secure.
Exactly. And d3, d4. Okay, an invitation. By the way, that's actually jumped out as a novelty. Everybody up to this moment had played the move knight h2, which kind of attractive.
Everybody being only like 3 players.
Well, there you go.
So
all 3, I should put it like that. But d4, a very logical looking move. And, well, I played knight d7 for a reason. Let me guess that it's f7, f5. By the way, the bishop is trapped. There is a threat of f5, f4 trapping this bishop.
Be careful.
On e3. Yes, exactly. Be careful.
Yes, it's true. White does need to be careful for the time being. But Fabi really playing very aggressively there.
Surprisingly so, right? It feels like it's playing right into Levon's hand.
Because and e4 takes, f5, g takes. Rook takes f5 would just be a horrible strategic approach, and after bishop c2, you're probably just much, much worse. E takes f5 renews the threat, f4, and sorry, Christian, you were about to say that something about this position is good for white?
Well, I just don't like the approach, the overall very, very aggressive approach that Fabiano is displaying in this match so far, because I feel Levon is really embracing those type of positions. He loves when the center is open. He loves when there is creativity available in the position. And this is what we're seeing right now.
Okay, but he's facing an awkward threat. He's f4. So this knight on d2 has to move. Maybe we have to start with bishop takes c6. I mean, how do we meet the problem? The problem is f4.
Bishop takes knight seems to be, to
bishop
me,
takes, pawn takes,
quite natural. And then, okay, you need to make room for the bishop. So I would be tempted to move the knight from d2 and move it to, let's say, okay, we see this on
bishop
the
takes c6, b takes c6.
And I couldn't quite figure out whether to go b3.
Okay, so at least in this case, we're secure. In case of f4, we don't necessarily have to retreat. We could potentially play bishop c5, but it's 2 bishops. Aren't we happy as black that we've earned the 2 bishops?
It does feel like black is doing just fine right now, right?
Is it time to just play queen to f6? You kind of cover the pawn over here. Maybe on a good day, the bishop gets to go to h3 with the queen on g6. We've seen those things before.
And by the way, the players have followed this line.
Are we transposed to...
No, the players are following it, so they are, like Fabi is actually taking that same decision that you talked about, you know, develop the queen. Is he going to push forward with the pawns? Continue with his aggressive path?
Exactly. Quick question for you. f4, would you retreat to d2, c1, or would you go to the c5 square? Jovi,
I'm a forward person, so yeah, I would be tempted to go there, but okay, this does need calculation.
Yeah, you never retreat.
Go ahead. Exactly.
And it just feels like white's pieces are kind of loose and hanging.
A little bit, right? I mean, because e4 and the bishop on c5...
Okay, you can go knight d2 to try to solidify.
Well, sorry, what's the bishop doing on c5? What's the knight doing on b3?
Yes. And
give it time. Now you're going to do this. I'm going to go bishop to d4 and say, let's trade. Let's look at your king. There's no protection.
I like it. Knight e5, let's go. Or knight f6.
No, if you go knight e5, I'm taking that pawn. So you have to go...
Do you really want to take my pawn?
Yes, you are.
But okay, let's keep going. Knight e5, because I'm kind of curious.
f3, let's go.
You want to start with f3, yes.
I want to test the waters. g3?
Yes.
I wanted to test.
You're really going for it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm really going for it.
But wait 1 second, it doesn't work because I can retreat the bishop.
Okay. And then knight takes f3.
Yes, that's my idea.
Knight takes f3. Rats.
But you're close. I mean, and you don't have to go queen h5.
I know. But I was...
king g7.
You could go king g7, and that did look terrifying. So queen f6.
So queen f6 is a preparatory move for f4, e4. It's all good. Knight b3, queen f6.
Rook.
I like.
But
Rook
Levon
was
plays so quickly.
Rook
e1.
Rook e8. Okay, so this kind of sidesteps the tempo of bishop c5. So it does mean that f4 and e4 are coming quickly. And now I understand why previous games have gone knight h2, just kind of getting out of the way of that, of those pawns.
What if I actually go queen to d2, the very natural
queen
placement
to
for
queen
the
to
queen,
d2?
queen d2?
But you are inviting
Yes, you
the
are.
pawns to step
now I'm going
forward.
to take on f4.
There's a pin.
Oh. Yes, we fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
We sure did. I mean, head over heels, or heels over head, something like that. Queen c2. Okay.
Now you can go f4.
Okay, but at least, I guess in this case, I've taken over the e4 square, so it means that if I do have to move my bishop, I'm at least not facing...
But this feels very shaky because, you know, you can see trades happening. The bishop on c8 will come to life.
Okay, I'm thinking it's time to just reroute this guy. Go play knight f8, knight g6. Leave your pawns on these beautiful squares e5 and f5. Control as much as the center as possible. Just get your knight to a good, aggressive post on g6.
Yeah, I think that's the right plan.
I mean, I agree. I gave up control of the c5 square. I just say go ahead and use it.
Okay, so then he should do that. After knight f8, you should come forward because you've got to be ready with some control over e4.
Right. So knight to c5.
Knight to c5.
Knight to c5.
That's the consequence of your last move.
Right.
Yes, but nothing I can do about that one.
No, the knight's over there.
But I can. You do have a loose piece on e8, so can I pile on the pressure?
Like something crazy like bishop to d4?
Yes.
Well, right now I've got that guy defended once. Oh, I've got e5 defended once, twice, thrice.
But I've got knight takes pawn.
But now I can go queen f7, which is going to actually force the bishop back.
Right.
Okay, that was not the intention.
No, it wasn't. But I like the aggression, the aggressive intent.
Yeah.
Okay, but outside of knight f8, well, he's thinking about his
He's thinking
option.
for a very long time. Right now he's down to his last 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Just having to refresh my board. He's down to what, I'm sorry?
5 minutes and 30 seconds against 8 minutes and 15 or 13 seconds.
By the way, that was really so overwhelmingly true in the rapid game. It was like 18 minutes for Levon, 3 minutes for Fabi.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really burning clock greatly, I want to say.
And it finished with 10 minutes for Levon and 1 second for Fabiano. He played one move with 1 second.
Yes, and at one moment he was down to a single
Down to his
second.
last 5 minutes. This is not an encouraging sign for Fabiano right now.
No.
Nope. And he has to bear in mind that he's getting less increment per move as well because it's only 5 seconds.
Exactly. Well, again, outside of knight f8, okay, I was about to say, besides knight f8, what could he play? And he found it. Queen f7 was his alternative. Well, I must say, not that inspired by queen f7.
The problem with this type of long things is that not only that you burn your clock, but your confidence level decreases as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm not finding moves. I cannot make my decisions in time, and this guy is just blitzing his moves. He's making decisions so confidently. What am I doing wrong? You start doubting yourself. You start asking these type of questions.
Agreed. Why this move, Jovi? What is it about queen f7 that's attractive?
Well, I liked it.
You did?
I did like it for the primary reason that it's not very easy for white to come up with a plan. Let's be honest about that. And the queen on f7 does protect the king. Very good news when your king is exposed. But also it can transfer itself to h5, which is what I
have the golden rule.
Yes.
And the golden rule is you want to try. You want to attack my king. So there was this move, knight a5, with the idea queen b3 to trade queens and to tickle the pawn on c6. Levon played rook d1, e4, knight d4 right away. Now you're about to explain to me that the queen can go to h5 in certain moments?
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
and I'm
assuming
said, knight e5?
I'm assuming
or
either that
f4.
or f4.
Well, f4 does have a drawback, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, pawn on c6 is hanging, pawn on e4 is hanging.
But anything outside of f4 also has its drawbacks.
Well, knight e5.
No.
We understand that the queen on f7 also has purpose. It does defend the rook.
I don't think I want to do that, though.
What do you want to do?
I think I want to do knight e2.
Knight e2.
And go to f4.
Excuse me, knight e2.
It's beautiful blockading move. And then now
you're going to sacrifice an exchange?
I probably have to.
Because you don't want to allow f4. I'm sure about that. f4, f3, and bishop takes h3. I mean, I understand if you get a knight to f4, you're happy, but...
Okay, let's try to be a bit more clinical right now. What if I go knight to c5? I don't want to allow you to go to d3.
I like knight to c5. It covers d3, brings your knight, which isn't doing that much, I must say, on b3.
f4.
F4.
Okay.
Bold stuff.
He's going for it.
It sure is. f4. Oof. Okay. Bishop to c1. We can anticipate this one.
Quickly.
And, okay, so the big thing is, obviously, you got to start kicking away the white knights. What about c5?
Indeed. c5.
Everything with tempo.
Yep.
I like it.
c5. Let me just pause here for a moment because, okay, knight e2. Ooh.
Keep going. F3.
Yep, f3.
f3. Now the question is, am I exposing my king or am I am I in trouble? c5 is on the board. It's the most challenging reaction.
Fabi down to his last 2 minutes and 49 seconds against 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
But don't you guys feel like Fabi's going all in on these last few moves?
He is, yeah.
Like, I mean, there's no, he's bridge burning. There's no recovering from this. And we do have knight e2. I think f3 is forced.
It's forced at this point, yeah.
Yeah, f3 is forced. And
you just went all in. If it works,
it's great.
You're a genius.
Yes, exactly.
If it doesn't, you're going to lose in a miserable strategical way. I mean, that's just the way it is.
To quote Lubomir Lebojevic, if it doesn't work, you're going to lose miserably. Miserably.
Okay.
E3.
Not f3. E3.
Not even f3. E3.
Whoa.
This move has a lot of point to it as well, because, you know, when I was
If
looking at the f3 lines, you can go f3 and also you extend the line for the light square bishop. You can park itself on b7.
Is that true? Just a second. I take f3, rook f1?
No,
bishop b7.
Knight f4, I think. Kind of
not rook f1?
Rook f1 I'm a bit concerned about, actually, taking on e2 and taking on d1 and taking on f7.
I've got queen f3 check
queen
for you.
d5 or queen f3 at the end.
He played takes, and he has played f3 as expected. Again, all in. All in. These last 4 or 5 moves by Fabi, he's gone top.
Okay,
knight
f4.
No funny business with rook f1.
That felt like the right move to me as well.
And what about bishop b7?
I love it. I love it. Bishop b7. I mean, after all, if you're going to put a pawn on f3 and you're going to take, you might as well put your bishop on b7 as well. The desirable knight b3, queen b3.
How do we feel about the exchange sacrifice?
Oh, then you're going to trade off queens. Golden
rule.
rule.
I've learned from the best
Guys,
ladies commentator.
Visually, it doesn't feel like Fabiano has enough attackers to complete successfully this attack.
Well, nobody's over on the king side.
The party's over, right?
Yeah, nobody's over there. I mean, I get the idea that you're attacking, but your knight, your rook on A8, your bishop on C8, they're not.
Do you have to sacrifice another pawn with knight D5? No, bishop to B7.
He's done, and we were looking at knight A5. I must say, I'm attracted to that move in order to trade queens.
There's a big opportunity right now.
Rook takes D7?
Yes, rook takes D7. How is that?
Knight takes pawn off.
Let's calculate.
Rook takes D7, queen takes D7.
Knight takes pawn.
Knight takes C5. Queen has to go to, I guess, C6.
But then you have a check.
C6 is probably
No,
losing.
I have to go to B5.
B5, yes.
To stop, yes.
The queen B3 check, yeah.
But this is attractive because I'm looking at queen G6 possibilities. This looks like...
And I guarantee you, Levon is looking at this as well.
But, you know, hang on a second. If you calm down and you're like, okay, I've got to restore connection between the queen and the black king, you can just make moves like, for instance, queen B6.
But that's 3 pawns for the exchange. Right now, I've got 2. If you just allow me, as you were about to say, if you just allow me to take a 3rd pawn, I got a feeling I'm liking white. Okay, so there is this moment. On the other hand, can I play queen G6? I mean, that is still a knight hanging on D7, right? I mean, and I wouldn't mind terribly trading queens. Does look like opportunity here for Levon. Jump right in, Christian.
That's why he's thinking. That's why he stops. He's thinking. He feels the critical moment is coming.
He feels like he's reaching for
queen G6. Your move.
Queen G6. Once every broadcast, here it comes. You ready?
Well.
These guys are good. They are so good.
Decent.
Queen G6. Let's trade Jovi's golden rules. When you feel your opponent's attacking your king, trade queens. And I must say, the more you look at it, it's not bad. Pawn on C5. That's a very tender target. Queen takes G6, knight takes G6.
Knight to F4 back.
Rook to D8, and the simple knight F4 back.
Do we take on G2, or do we try
You've got to.
Yeah, you have to extend the bishop diagonal.
Right. You have to take on G2. You just don't want to see this pawn even going to E4 and somehow losing a tempo as white. You don't want to see E4 on the board.
And talking about the clock times, Fabi is
47
now 47 seconds, and it's ticking down. And remember, he only gets a 5-second increment per move.
So basically right now, they're playing a blitz game.
Yes.
In which Levon has almost 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Against
Bishop
30
A8.
seconds.
Wow, that's not even on my radar.
I like that move.
No,
and I was wondering.
E4 is just resigns.
E4 resigns? No.
E4 resigns. Because you can't take with the rook.
Why can't I take with the bishop?
Then I take on F3, and I take the rook, and I take the knight.
But I go bishop F5.
Okay, just a second. E4, bishop takes E4, pawn takes F3, bishop F5. So I'm a pawn up, and no way of pinning and winning.
You do have knight takes C5 though.
Knight takes.
No, not right now, but instead of F3.
Pardon.
Okay.
Bishop is on A8. So just a second. If you go bishop back, I could also play knight to D. Oof. I don't know. This looks really attractive to me. I would play E4.
By the way, after E4, can I take on G2
you can.
first? Like.
E4, pawn takes G2.
I know your tactics already, Yasser. You tell me how winning you are, and
no, this is so good.
Resign. I mean, come on.
Okay, knight to D5. Knight to D5.
So let's see. E4, F takes G2. put it on the board.
Oh, sorry. E4, F takes G2, knight to D5.
And finally, knight to E5. Why not?
Knight to E5. Why not? And I have to take the. I have to pause. I don't want to see knight F3 check.
And now can I go C4 followed by knight D3 if you allow me?
Yeah.
But you're not going to allow me.
This is well. It's not as clean as I thought. I must say. Let's put it that way. I was hoping for something a lot simpler. Okay, if I don't play
Well,
E4?
one thing is for sure. This moment, this bishop to A8, definitely forced a pause from Levon because now he's down to his last 2 minutes.
He had 4 minutes, so he spent
4 minutes and 30 seconds. Now he's down to his last 2 minutes.
Enormous amount of time on this moment. So he obviously feels it's crucial.
And it probably is.
He's probably right. But I mean, I think I would have played E4 several minutes ago, just because I really wanted to close that diagonal and to put a knight on D5. Maybe he's looking at the immediate knight D5.
I was going to say knight D5.
Anything that closes the bishop
anything that closes the bishop, I agree with you there.
Yeah, has my attention.
Because, you know, if you provoke F6, well, yippee-doo-dah.
Oh, you mean you provoke C6?
Yeah, sorry, C6, yeah.
Yeah, that bishop on A8 will hate you for the rest of the game.
So that's not a good move.
And
wait,
what
did he do?
What? He took and immediately knight E5.
This was, in my book, almost an illegal move.
Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want to allow the knight with it. Well, you got to go king F2,
king
right?
F2, yeah.
So you kind of, but the knight will, the knight captures. This is not what you wanted with white. Surely not.
Rook to F1.
I mean, because now the knight has a beautiful square.
C4.
C5, C4. Okay, well, knight takes C4. Oh, pardon me, knight to C4. Knight to, I'll get there, knight to C5.
And he goes for it.
E6 is looking tender.
Still, you have your E4 ideas on tap.
Oh, absolutely. I'm dreaming to close that bishop and maybe on a good day even use the G file. That would be
20 seconds for Fabiano.
Bishop F6, reminding white, you got a king too.
He takes, and now come on, E4.
King to E2. Wait a minute.
King E2.
He's playing fast and he's showing that knight H4, knight E6. Wait a minute. How do you defend?
No, sorry?
Knight H4, knight E6, and the bishop on F6 is hanging. The other knight to E6.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Wait, how do you defend now, guys?
10.
Well, there's a rook D1. As rook takes F3, a threat.
5 seconds to find out
rook
the defense.
D6. Okay, because there's a rook D1. If we take twice, rook will come to D1 and it will ensnare the bishop.
But then I go knight E2.
Then that wins. Rook takes F3 is a winner. And he's done it. Did Fabi just like black out on knight E2?
I think he did.
Ooh.
He just shook his head.
I must say.
Signaling the fact that he missed this.
Yeah.
Okay, but is this such a disaster?
Totally.
I was thinking the bishop can come to G5 and he gives a check.
No, but king G2 now.
And then rook E1. And then when you play king F2, bishop H4 check. Oh, maybe he lucked out.
So this is a draw then, the king?
Not quite so fast.
So what if I go
so
king
I go
G2?
king G2, rook E1, knight E4, inviting you to take my knight.
King G4, rook E1, perhaps now knight E4, right?
Sorry, he went king G4 immediately, apologies.
Okay, maybe now is the time to provoke that king to take a step forward with H5.
Sorry.
What about this? I go king F3 back. Now I go king G2.
Yes.
Then I go king F2. I force your bishop to go to H4. And then I go king F3 back.
Okay.
And then when you give me the check on F1, I go king G4 and I attack the bishop on
Which
H4.
is exactly what he's done. Nice catch there, Christian, because then the bishop will be hanging after rook F1.
He found it. This is over.
Yeah, 2 pieces will overpower the rook.
2 pieces and a pawn. A very important pawn, that E pawn.
Exactly. Exactly.
By the way.
7.
Down to his last 5 seconds, Fabi.
And
4.
King F7.
This was not a move he wanted to make.
No, it's just it gives White the opportunity. He needs to maybe play a move like knight to E4,
knight to E4
and bring the knight to G3.
Like a very sensible move.
Knight to E4, knight to G3, just to reinforce. But
can you start
E4,
taking pawns, by the way?
E4, yes.
E4 makes
yeah.
a lot
E4.
of sense. Liberate that bishop.
Indeed. And rook check king. Oh, boy, did Levon jump at that opportunity to play king. And knight takes A6.
Why not?
Give me that pawn. Rook E1.
And he's going to do the same thing.
It's
like some sort of a triangulation process.
It's almost a study.
It's incredible. And you cannot do anything about it.
King to F2, bishop to H4 check, king to F3. That is
what a concept.
So crafty.
What a concept. That's art right there.
Exactly. It truly is. And now we've got bishop takes H6 potential.
You can take that. You can take on C7.
Well, I'm just saying the bishop on C1 has been such a horrifyingly passive piece. Now you took away a crucial counterplay pawn that might have been for counterplay, bishop back to F4, and now you're home and dry. Now it's very easy.
Yeah, this one is looking like it might be close to over.
Yeah, because we've got to pass a pawn 2 in the position, which makes it so much easier.
I'm still stunned by this king G2, king F2, king F3. Fight.
It's nice.
With only a few seconds on his
Exactly.
clock.
King F3. Yep. By the way, knight E3 is ready to pick up some more pawns over there.
And the white king stepping forward. I mean,
each time that king comes to G4, there's a bishop nicely waiting for the king to arrive with the tempo. Bishop E3.
So bishop E3.
Again,
very nice.
Eyeballing this pawn.
All the squares.
Stopping rook F2. You're right about that.
Yeah. But also, just take a look at how protected his pieces are.
Beautiful.
He can step back with a king.
Not again.
He can move the knight.
Not
He's
again.
doing it again.
But he doesn't need to
times.
do this. He can move the knight.
No, but each time he wins a crucial tempo and picks up a pawn.
But he can just move the knight. The bishop is protected.
But that's not. It's not only that. It also frustrates Fabiano.
Oh, without question.
This is so frustrating right now.
Oh, without question. That is so true. You just feel like, you're on the wrong side of a study. That's how it feels.
Now the bishop goes to D4, once again finds this perfect square in the
King
position.
goes to F5, king in the middle. King
Yes.
F5 is
King F5, E5, knight to F4, E6, and
it
the
plays
E-pawn
itself.
will win the game.
Wow. Well, I will borrow what you said. This was art. Very artistically played. And Levon will be very pleased with this game because that whole king G4, we saw it once, twice, thrice. I mean, it's just like really good. Great stuff,
He
Christian.
feels so good about himself right now,
Right.
Levon. And once again, that's dangerous if you are facing him in a must-win situation as Fabi is right now. But then again, Fabi had his chances yesterday with the white pieces against Wesley. He surely will try to find something in this match as well. And I was talking about it at the beginning of this playoff. He needs to do something differently with the white pieces also, because in their initial encounter, Fabi did play this move C4, the floor Mykonos, but he didn't get much out of the opening. It was in fact Levon who had the advantage. Fabi will have to go back and understand what he needs to do differently. I'm very, very eager to see what he's going to come up with.
For the and again, in this playoff, Levon takes an early lead against our defending champion, and Fabi will have to win to extend the match. For those of joining us late, first of all, shame on you. But what really caught our eye, Christian, was this beautiful concept right here, and it happened not only once but several times. King F3, Rook F1 check, and it's like this awkward thing. Your pieces, like the knight on E2, the bishop on C1 are stuck. The king has to defend. So then you go, okay, but I have bishop h4 check. And then the point is that after rook f1, you get to pick up this tempo against the bishop with king g4. And it was a theme that recurred several times in this game. Here we go. And here we see it again.
Levon just being mean, to be honest. It was unnecessary.
I thought it was great. There we saw it again. And one more time. You know, that was like, it's not a three move repetition.
No, I picked up a few pawns in the meantime. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. We just tip our hat and say,
and it was the only way out. In fact, I was looking at the engine.
With the engine.
Right now, it's the only way to not have to accept the repetition. Right. With rook f1, rook e1, rook f1, rook e1.
Exactly.
This king to f2, get the bishop to h4, and then go king to f3 to attack the bishop. Beautiful, beautiful. This is art.
Yeah, the Juan Lanier Dominguez is certainly in his room watching this match, because the winner will play against him tomorrow.
Tomorrow, exactly, in a rapid match. And of course, it was a wild game, you saw just now. And both players now need to reset, because there is a second game on the horizon. And this time, Fabiano will have the white pieces.
And when will that game begin?
Any moment now.
Any moment now.
Oh, we're just a couple minutes away. Sorry, Christian, you were saying that Fabi needs to do something more with the white pieces. He's not getting the good stuff.
Yes, and perhaps I should show it. Let's see if I can find that game. This was the crucial game. Today he started off with the move c4. Knight f6, this knight c3, Flor Miquenas with e6, d5 against e4. And we got to this position. Bishop to f5, by the way, I was explaining. It's the most precise move in the position. d4, take, 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 d3, bishop d5. But the problem is, after knight to c6, bishop to f4, h6, bishop to g3, g5, queen to a4 was the bad. Perhaps this is it. We found the answer as well. Bishop to g3 was the good move. Instead of the move queen to a4,
knight d2.
Maybe this is what he's going to try to come up with. Right. Knight to d2 and try to open up the position with the move f4. Transfer this knight potentially on the other side of the board, but also open up the discussion of maybe trading off this force of nature on d5, the bishop on d5 with the move bishop to f3. This might be what Fabiano is going to be coming back with. Let's see.
We'll definitely see. I do think that Levon
E4,
will go
never
for
mind.
a different
None
approach.
of that. None of that. We have e4, no c4.
I think we're going to see Levon try to batten down the hatches and play something solid.
Just looking for the game, but I can't find it.
We have
the wrong.
The Berlin. Berlin with knight to d2, bishop to e6, castle. Bishop to d6 back. A very solid approach by Levon. We expect this. He only needs a draw to finish the match, remain in the competition, and kick the defending champion out of the competition right now. A golden opportunity for Levon Aronian.
What is that knight doing on b3? I must ask.
It's allowing the bishop to get out. That's about it. Not much else.
And see, queen d7, inviting bishop f6. Fabi wanted no part of that, and he played bishop h4.
Bishop to h4.
Okay,
he's
so
playing fast.
I assume it's bishop g3.
Bishop g3 and then try to play for c3, d4. Is that the plan?
Well,
No,
to take the pawn
back.
on e5.
And I'm presuming that the knight is going to go to c4 and sit on e3.
Yeah, I don't like the queen on d7, but I do like the queen on a4, funnily enough. What do you think about that? You go queen a4, you kind of stop, c3, you kind of stop.
But they play b3, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
b3 and a4, and put the knight on c4 and start looking at the e5 pawn.
Okay, queen a4, b3, queen b4. I'm just lurking.
That queen is on an odyssey.
Exactly, exactly.
But it's a closed position. I mean, in these type of closed positions, you can get away with maneuvers like this.
Exactly.
And
do you have that in a queen Sally?
Yeah, queen sortie.
Well, the sortie, yes, but Sally.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Queen Sally.
But
yeah.
it's
okay.
It's
Just
old. It's an old word.
Old. I'm slipping here. A knight G5, knight H5, knight G5. Okay, obviously he wants to play for knight F4.
Mm-hmm.
But knight F4, will that allow me to go a G3?
Well,
G3, knight to H3.
Well, no, wait a minute. I mean, G3, knight to G6.
Isn't
yes.
That's what have you done? That's not a nice way of treating a bishop.
I agree.
Yeah.
Isn't Fabiano's plan to trade off the knight for his bishop and then swap off his knight for the light square bishop and say, I've got good knight against bad bishop?
That's exactly the point he's trying to make. Knight takes e6. I'm assuming queen takes e6, and then you say swap this one off too, and then play knight versus bishop. Nope, he's played knight takes e6. He said, maybe you did have the intention of taking my knight on f4. Well, knight to c4, f6.
f6, the bishop on d6 is well and truly a bad piece, but they do say bad bishops make excellent defenders.
And those are good pawns that he is defending. For the moment,
tremendous pawns.
This bishop on h4, which is your good bishop, isn't exactly great diagonals. Like, how are we going to get? Eventually, we're going to have to play a break, right? Whether it be c3 or c3 d4, or f4. You've got to get in a break. And
it very much depends on where the blacking castles.
Excuse me, that was just.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Christian. But I mean, the problem is that if you go f3, I mean, the position is so close that you can even go g5. Okay,
he has played f3. a5, by the way, takes away another potential break. a3, c3, b4. You're not going to be doing that. So
it's so tempting to just lock the position down.
That's exactly
and go
what
g5.
he's trying.
Oh, okay, he's gone h5. Same idea.
What did he do after?
h5 and now?
a4, a5, a5, a4.
a5, a4.
And h5.
h5. Whoa.
Is that saying that the black king is not going to castle?
Yeah. Well, the king doesn't need to castle. It can
well, the center is completely closed. But I must say, it's not every day that you see a5 attacking on the queen side, followed by h5. I mean, you're trying to take over the entire board? You know, a5, h5.
h4? Well, he is trying to take over the entire board.
Guess what? He's trying to shut down f4. And for the moment, he's saying, I don't believe c3 and d4 will bring you advantage, so I'm not going to allow you f4.
That's okay. h3, Fabi says.
h3. Okay, so I mean, if I'm intuiting Levon, I'm thinking he's going to play g5.
g5 does give up the f5 square.
Great, you have one good piece.
Well done, me.
That's it, right? You put your knight on f5, and
then you can start working your way up with c3. You still have the break d4 in the board.
That. I will say that I have more than one good piece. I'll go c3 after that. By the way,
we have
Colin, who visited us in the studio.
From the Make-A-Wish Foundation kid. He just struggling with cancer. He said, I want to go to St. Louis. I want to visit the St. Louis Chess Club, and I want to meet these guys. And he said very clearly that Hikaru is somebody he loves watching on the stream. So,
and he's wearing that beautiful American Cup jacket.
Yes.
And there we do have, we do have g5.
He also said that he kindly, so Levon kindly played some games against him.
Oh.
That was very nice of him.
Nice.
And you've made a big promise, Yasser.
What's
You'll
that?
get his Letterman jacket signed by all the players.
And look at Chris Bird, how attentive he is. I mean, that's a true arbiter right there.
He's actually a chess lover.
He loves it.
You know, he's got a front row seat. He wants to enjoy it.
There was a funny comment on Twitter of a picture of Chris Bird watching over one of the playoff matches.
Yes.
And the comment was saying, Chris Bird, more like Chris Vulture.
Chris Vulture. Yeah.
Very attentive.
Okay, well, we have a development because Levon has castled queenside, which does mean that Fabiano's job is now a lot easier. He has to open a line over there, as Yas has indicated.
Well,
C3,
knight to D5
B4.
first, right?
I think this is a good news for Fabiano.
Yeah, but good luck with that. Well, first of all, D3 is hanging. So it's going to take preparation to play C3. And look at how many times B4 has been defended. So he's basically said, you know, you've got one good piece, the knight on F5. Your rook on A1's not great.
That's
the rook
true.
on F1.
I don't disagree with you. The only thing is that the reason why I'm saying it's good news for Fabi is because the plan, the long-term plan, has now become clear. He can just like improve his pieces. I mean, he's simply going to move his queen. Now he has to actually drop his knight back to E3. I know. But, you know, eventually the plan is going to be clear.
This knight F5 seems to have been a misstep, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it mistimed?
I think so, because knight D4 just forces the trade. And what do you trade on D4 with is the question.
Well, if you take with the bishop,
the bishop.
Yeah. Bishop takes, C5 takes, and the bishop will go to C5.
And the knight is trapped.
Yeah, there's no way to get any play in the position, so he's going to have to retreat, knight E3.
But if he retreats, then suddenly...
He's done it.
It's also possible for Levon to start thinking about breaking through or playing solidly. Okay, so he also retreats.
Whoa.
Now
I would not have played that. I would have played king B7 and just said, deal with the knight on D4. I would want to provoke the move C3. King H2, King B7.
King B7.
Just refresh my board, I apologize.
And when it comes to the clock situation, both sides are very evenly matched, around the 7.5 and 7 minute mark.
Yeah.
Mork.
Mork.
New word.
Mork
actually means darkness in Norwegian.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And, well, with your, what is it, 6 months of winter, Mork's a favorite time of the year, I'm sure. Knight to C4. Christian, I got to tell you, this is a dream position for Levon. All he needs is a draw to knock Fabi out of the tournament, and it's blocked as block can be.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and I don't see the plan. Is it B3, Queen B2, followed by C3 and B4? If you manage to get all of those moves, sure.
Yes.
But whenever you go B3, Queen B2, I just retreat my knight to C6. And you cannot play the move C3 because the pawn on D3 is hanging. So I just don't see the active plan. At the same time, take it down to the last minute.
Right.
Make some waiting moves. Rook to E1, rook to D1, shuffle the pieces, pretend like you're doing something.
Like threatening to flex.
Exactly. And then in the last minute, just throw the patties. Go all in.
Just hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly.
You might lose, that's fine.
That's
right.
You make a draw, you're out of the tournament no matter what.
Right.
And
So give it your
Fabi
best.
is doing this. I mean, we saw Ray Robson beat Sam Shanklin by making these lots of waiting moves.
Very, very patiently.
Very patient play.
But he had the pawn and the pocket, and Sam had to, navigate through all kinds of ghosts. In this particular case, the position is so blocked.
And we're also going to have to keep an eye on the 50 move rule. Funnily enough.
Funnily enough,
because,
right?
In the middle of the game, yeah?
In the middle of the game.
It is, because the 50 move rule is that if the player doesn't make a pawn move or a capture for 50 moves, then they can claim a draw.
At some point, he has to go B3, right?
Yes.
B3, defend the pawn on A4, and get ready to play the move C3.
I'm a little bit surprised by the move King B7. I myself would have probably played Rook to A8 to absolutely, absolutely discourage c3 and b4, because then the rook on a8, the queen on c6 would be attacking the a pawn. But possibly a king walk to the king side? Is the king side safer than the queen side? King d7, king e8?
So the way I see it, you have to put the rook from d1 on the c file.
Okay.
And then put the rook from a1 on the b file.
Okay.
And then go b3 and c3 and b4.
Okay.
Give up the pawn on d3.
And I think in anticipation of exactly what you're saying, Christian, Levon is going to say, whenever you play c3, you're going to make the pawn on d3 a target.
I'll have to give you that pawn. I will have to give you that pawn.
Say what? My hearing's not... You're going to give me what? How do I sign up? How do I...
Well, eventually I mean, Christian is right. Eventually that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you have to.
If
That's
you
right.
want, you need to roll the dice, because objectively this position
is draw.
Is draw.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That's the problem, and I was saying that he needs to take Levon down to his last minute. The problem is...
Levon has 6 of them.
He's slower than Levon right now, Fabiano.
And
he goes for
C3.
C3. You're hinting at this rook to d8. I don't like this doubling up. Let's hit first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, queen to c2, defending the pawn on d3. Now maybe b3 is going to come next.
B3 has to come next.
But that's such a slow...
well, you have to defend the knight on C4.
Right.
Overprotect everything.
Overprotect everything.
Are you considering f5?
I am. I'm ashamed of myself, but yes, you caught me. You caught me thinking about f5.
Don't break the harmony, yeah.
I know. I mean, I shouldn't. All he needs is a draw, and he's through. And I'm playing f5, trying to attack Fabi's king side. He did play rook d8, rook d2, so piling on the pressure, but easily thwarted with the move rook d1. Now, I'm not very pleased with the black king on c8. There is a possibility of queen b3 and knight takes b6 check. So he did play king b8, by the way, which makes sense.
Not only that, but with the king on c8, after you open up the c file, d4, exchange on d4, and the c file opens up, I have ideas of knight takes b6.
Right. Fair.
So king on b8 seems to have found the perfect place for black. But okay, 5 minutes and 10 seconds against 5 minutes and 57 seconds for Fabiano.
It's time to shuffle with the bishop, I think. Put it back to g1.
As white.
As white, you know, just...
Okay.
Bishop
I think he heard you, and he shuffled back with his bishop, bishop to f8, queen to b3.
There's some tactics in the air. Knight
now, you know, queen b5 and knight takes b...
Knight takes a5, yeah?
Oh, knight takes a5.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, big trick on the board. Levon, of course, has to be aware.
Definitely notice that. Yeah, maybe it's time just to defend the queen. Rook to e8, perhaps.
Makes sense. Queens.
Can we go d4 now? After rook to e8.
Maybe you can step back with the
d4?
How many... I'm failing to calculate how many attackers you have versus how many defenders I have. Keep going. Yes, yes, yes.
So I think it's okay, but at the end of the day, my bishop isn't so bad. You know that, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes, but I have rook coming to d5. Finally, at least I got something, right?
Well, you got an imbalance. I'm not sure it's that favorable.
But you can break out with f5.
Queen to e8.
He played queen to e8, not rook to e8. Sorry. Queen to b3, queen to e8.
Yeah, so knight takes
a5
b6 isn't possible.
Right. Knight takes b6, takes... Now the queen will defend c6.
Exactly.
And the attack is completely refuted. No sacrifice there. And
do you invade with a queen, queen b5?
Where am I going after king b7?
Probably nowhere.
I mean, it's sort of like we have the standoff, yeah? I mean, you've achieved basically the maximum.
You can drop, I'm a big fan of dropping the bishop back to g1.
Okay.
Just to kind of be around the king and have everything overprotected. And also clear the e3 square.
I found the trick, guys. All right.
You did. Queen b5.
King b7. Now I go d4.
David 4.
Yes.
Wow. Queen e6 he actually played. So the trick was there was something hanging on e8.
There's knight takes a5 whenever you take with a knight on d4. With a king on b7.
Well, I would be taking pieces, right?
Yes,
okay.
You would be taking pieces, and I was hoping that I will be able to checkmate you somehow. But
Queen e6. Are the times a factor yet?
Not yet.
Not really. Both. I mean, Levon Aronian has lower time. He's under
Queen
4 minutes.
a6.
Where is he going?
No, he's just being
annoying.
Annoying. Queen back to e8, just saying, I don't believe.
Is b4 a threat right now?
Quite possibly.
Rook f7.
Rook f7. Now,
look, at some point I have to be able to go d4.
Now d4 starts to look far more attractive, right? Oh, your queen could get. Could your queen get caught after takes and knight b4?
That's a good point. That is a good point. Queen b5.
And c6, right?
Queen takes b6.
And rook b7.
Queen takes d8.
Oop, not that one.
Yeah, but I was also thinking that
Bishop
there are some
f2.
ideas of going bishop takes
Well,
c5 and then b4.
I must say, Fabi is somehow
finding something, right?
Being more than irritating. He's getting something.
Well,
so
now the queen will come to c8.
To c8, queen to c8, queen to b5. You can't trade. Queen to b7, knight to e3. Something. No. Look at this. No queen to c8.
Levon says he has faith in his structure.
That's
I'm
exactly what he
feeling
says.
nervous though.
That's exactly what he's saying with this move, rook d7, that he's as solid as he can be. Knight e3, knight d5, something. And that took him down to 3 minutes, though.
Yeah, and there are sacrifices in the air. Like, for instance, if black were to get careless and move the bishop from f8, bishop c5 is just very strong.
Okay.
And that's the way to do it, right? Just wait once again until 1 minute and then play d4.
And there we go. Knight back to a3. I was actually expecting the knight to go the other. Queen b3. Is that an invitation, folks? Is my
certainly is.
Is my spidey sense tingling?
So he's trying to set up this bind with the knight on b5. It looks ugly, but...
So if I drop in,
yes,
you go knight b5.
You want to take...
And now,
yes.
Let's go d4.
Nobody believes you with your rook on d1
That's okay.
hanging.
That's okay. I'm only trying to open up the c file so that I can play rook to c1 and attack the knight on c6.
And bishop
rook
to
c1.
c5. Yeah.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll take it. And take this. Yeah. That's the idea. Cool.
So he does not want to allow that bind. He plays knight a7. I think that's the right decision.
Knight to a7 to stop knight b5.
Stop the knight going to b5.
I must say that's a solid choice. Yes.
A funny looking position would come after knight b5, knight takes b5, a takes b5.
That's not a nice way to treat a lady. The queen on a6 would really look off sides, but okay. It's wow, knight b5. That would be highly unusual, to say the least. Maybe queen to c8 will come in that case. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Well, I tell you, I have 16 pawns on the board this late into the game. Seems very unusual to me. Rook to a1.
Okay.
Okay. Fabi's doing his best to try to conjure up some magic here, but I just, I'm having a hard time.
But I was also wondering about setting up a bishop takes c5 sacrifice, or is this too obvious? Because, you know, you follow that through with b4, and then just give everything up.
Okay, his last move is quite funny, but maybe that's exactly what he wants to do.
Queen to c6, kind of sidestep, and queen c4, very, very quickly played by Fabi, as he's sort of saying, okay, I've won this diagonal, maybe that is a useful diagonal, and maybe you're right, maybe he's going for some bishop c5, b4 type of sacrifices.
Levon down to his last minute.
And an important number to take a note of is the last pawn move was on move 33.
Knight
we are now
b5.
Move 43.
Okay, so guys, he's inviting.
It's starting to look interesting.
He certainly is starting to look interesting. Now, knight takes b5, a takes b5, queen to d7, gift me the pawn.
And now it's time to break through, now or never.
How do we do it?
That's my question.
Well, if b4, right?
I was going to take on d3 and say, you know, do your worst.
But this is why I wanted my bishop on g1.
So your king would be so safe.
My king would be safe. There's no check. So then I could just move my rook to a2.
Right. And there would be no check to...
Levon down to his last minute.
Well, how do you not play queen d7 instantly?
He might be worried.
About bishop takes pawn.
About bishop takes pawn, precisely.
So queen d7, bishop takes c5?
Let's see how this one plays out.
Well, if he was worried about it, he's asking Fabi, are you interested? Fabi's saying, yeah, I'm interested because I've got to win. I've got to win. Bishop takes c5, you know, this might be his best chance. Bishop takes c5 and rook takes a5, and you're trying to hope that queen a4 will net you a king.
The thing is that the queen, like when I look at that kind of position where white has sacrificed a piece, the queen can just like snake her way to the b7 square and hold everything off for the time being.
That's a very good point, yeah.
A bishop c5 is actually the best move.
Well, again, I just feel like you're just not going to get a better opportunity. I don't see b4 as bringing home. And I don't think rook d1, rook a1, d1, you're just not going to get a better opportunity than bishop c5 right here, right now.
You got to go for it. If you are Fabi and you need a win in this position, you have to go for that.
Exactly. Apologies as I
No, he goes for d4.
d4. Whoa, that happened all
that's a sequence
super fast.
Yes.
What a sequence that was. And, well, Fabi is opening up the lines.
Rook d7.
Rook to d7?
Opening
what is
up the
that?
action of the bishop.
Bishop to b4 is coming. Okay. So b takes a5, bishop to b4. What else? And Levon, I mean, you know, sometimes when you're begging for the draw, you really sometimes just simply overdo it. Bishop b4.
So bishop to b4, I take on b6, and if you take my rook, I go queen a3, and I think I'm breaking through, finally.
So you can take on b6.
You take on d2, and I go queen a3. And
but you don't need to take on b...
I feel there's a mate there.
You can actually play queen takes. Queen takes b6 and use the queen as protection. But of course, you've got to face rook a2, so you...
I do. But hold on. Could I just see this? Because this is actually pretty funny. In this moment, is it mate?
I don't know.
Because if your bishop was on g1, you would have bishop h2.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I told you. I know.
Oh, but I don't know if this is mate.
But you have moves like bishop takes pawn in the air. What else?
Well, right now I'm threatening bishop a5. If it was my turn, I'd play bishop a5. So, but I didn't think that this was a mate.
I don't see it. I don't see the mate.
I just kind of like get on my running shoes and hightail it out of there. Oh boy. Okay, so bishop b4 on the board. What's the time?
41 seconds for Fabiano and counting 38 seconds. These guys are neck to neck.
Not much separating the two. Rook a2, is that, no, that's too slow. Is it too slow? I want to sacrifice an exchange and play queen a1.
Perhaps you have to go for it.
It's 23 and ticking down to 20 seconds for Fabiano.
Rook a2, bishop a5, rook a5, ba5, rook a5, d3, queen a1. He's done it.
He's done rook a2.
He wants to sacrifice.
a5, bishop e1.
Sorry, say that again, please.
Bishop takes a5.
Yes.
Bishop e1.
Oh, bishop e1. Thank you. That clears some cobwebs. Bishop takes a5, bishop e1. I don't have to sacrifice my attackers. And maybe Fabi's not out of the tournament yet.
15 seconds for both players.
Oh, and ticking down 10
bishop
seconds.
Takes a5, bishop e1 immediately played.
That is
with a gain of 5 seconds for Fabiano.
That's huge. That means the a file is going to be open.
d3 he's looking for his counter shot.
And no time on the clock.
By the way, is
Rook
queen
takes
c6,
a5?
guys, is queen c6 a move?
Yeah.
No, d1 is coming with check. Oh, you're taking the rook. I beg your pardon. Queen c6 is a move.
Is queen c6.
6 seconds.
Queen d2.
No, queen d2.
He chooses the passive approach.
But he's threatening rook takes a5 and rook a8.
That's a huge
And he's stopping d2. Did you like that move?
No.
I think it's a good safety move, you know. I mean, the players have got no time.
King. Whoa.
5 seconds.
And he's ready to draw. Oh, that is clever.
Okay, 6.
Oh, that was clever by Levon. Queen to e5. What a move. Rook to b8 and king b7.
He's going to hide the king to b7.
Oh,
to
my
c8
goodness.
right now.
Yeah, that's what he's
b6.
doing.
You want to hide on c8? No.
Way.
No.
No way.
5 and Levon, but having to take these decisions with no time on the clock.
It's all about nerves now.
I don't know.
Away.
This is starting to look good for Fabiano, guys. Queen takes d3, and that king is wide open.
Truly. So
you don't survive these type of positions with 16 seconds on the clock in general.
No, you don't.
I mean, you don't survive them.
But look at that king walk. I mean, that king is getting all the way to g6.
He's
now
running.
It's time to stop
He's running.
He's a runner.
You can run it to...
King e8.
What?
Okay, now you can put your queen on a7 and start harassing.
I think he wants to go rook to d8 to make sure that there's always a rook d1 check.
But
so
rook d8, I will take that pawn on b6.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But still, you can go for that counterplay.
Why not? I mean,
and
might as well take a pawn, right? Queen g7, okay.
Actually, you're right. Why didn't he take the pawn? b5.
He wants more.
b5.
He really wants more.
b5? No. Queen f4.
You cannot go to c7 threaten checkmate because you get checkmated first.
Right.
Exactly. The rook is on prise.
Well, b5. You need a decoy. Queen e5. Levon, you got 5 seconds. Levon, why didn't you go queen e5? You just attack the rook, attack it again.
e5.
e5.
Whoa.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Queen takes e5.
Queen takes e5. He doesn't go for it. He goes for queen to f8.
What? How much time did that take?
2 seconds for Fabi. He needs to make a move. 1 second. He plays queen c7.
Check.
3 seconds. Check. This
I'm
might
expecting pawn takes pawn.
You got to go queen e5 now.
No, that's a check on a7. What is that?
A check on
king
a7,
takes f6.
king takes f6. Oh, this is winning.
He might have found it. He might have found it.
Oh, that move, queen f8. No time, no time.
King f5. The king goes hunting.
King f5. Who knew the king was on b8 10 moves ago? What the heck?
Okay, queen.
Okay.
Check. King steps back.
These
Still
are
not
5.
easy to make a move.
Ooh.
King f5.
Keep only going. Move.
where's the killing blow?
Well, there's no rook d1 check now, so all of those ladder checks have been meaningful, but okay.
King f6, rook h7, perhaps.
Or rook b7? Or rook h7. Okay, I kind of like
7
that.
seconds for Levon. He needs to find a cure against
Queen
rook h6.
e8?
King
No.
e5, the king goes.
No, queen e4 check.
Yeah,
No.
That looks winning. I don't know.
No, he doesn't find it.
Oh my God.
Oh, queen e4 check.
What a game.
Queen e4 check and rook g6 will win the game.
Oh, that's it?
For Fabi.
That's it?
Oh, he didn't see queen e4 and rook
He doesn't
g6?
see it. My goodness.
Okay,
So
it's
the king
nerves.
has
This
to
is
step
just
backwards.
nerves.
Rook to e7.
Oh, but you're hunting the black king. This must be mate. Queen e4 check.
But then
king c5,
the rook
rook
goes
check.
to c6.
Yes.
You have to defend
Go
with
rook c6. King c4 would have been mate.
This
King
is
b5.
not that clear, guys.
Okay, now the king will just dance on b5.
Yep, you're right about that. Time?
Oh,
What's
it's
it called?
seconds. We're talking about Fabi has just 10 seconds.
King
Levon
C5?
Aronian 17
Is
seconds.
this so clear, Christian?
No.
A moment
no.
ago, I thought queen e4 would. Ooh, king
I don't
b5.
see it anymore. Queen to e4 followed by king to b5. That king is just like running away.
Amazing. No, I mean, oh, rook c5.
Queen b3. Is that it?
Yeah, I think it was a mistake to go.
Not yet. Not yet. King.
Oh.
Queen a4, rook a5, queen c4.
You can.
Queen d3 check. I've got to play b5, yeah?
Can
Oh,
you
no, my rook is hanging.
Can you intercept with the rook? Rook b5?
You have to. King a5.
Rook
Ooh,
a7.
Wild stuff.
Rook a7, king b4. This is a wild king.
No.
But this
Rook to a1.
And, oh,
Rook
with
to
second.
a1.
No,
No,
rook
rook
a1.
it's a
Queen
three, it
takes
takes
a1
one.
check.
Oh my goodness.
But
oh
okay,
my goodness.
how is this king
How is it
surviving?
possible? I don't understand how this king
This
is
king was
survived.
dead 20 moves ago.
Oh my
How
gosh.
is he still alive?
King d5.
King
Where's
d5, rook d7 perhaps?
That's correct, but then
Queen
Queen
d1?
d1. Didn't see that one.
Why did he play that move?
King
He saw something,
E5.
but
Well, the king
King
has to move
E5.
e to e5, and otherwise it's going to be queen to d7 checkmate.
I don't see the checkmate even then. King
I
E5
know.
after that.
No, not after king e5. It was the only move to stay in the position.
Okay.
Is
Queen-
there any queen?
Queen to e2, right?
You know, in those moments when he just doesn't see the mate, he's got these lovely quiet moves.
Wait,
with
queen
the rook.
d4?
Queen d4,
No, queen
king
d4,
f5.
king f5.
The rook is protected on c5. That's a
Unbelievable.
huge.
Unbelievable.
Okay,
And now
he's threatening rook e8.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's a nice spot.
Oh, he hasn't.
Oh, rook d5. I was
He hasn't
expecting
seen
king
it.
f5. What?
Oh, he
I
knows
think
it
that
was
might
okay.
be it, guys.
That's it. Finally,
f8
king
is coming.
f6, rook f8.
Wow.
Wow.
What a game.
We were on the edge of our seat till the very end.
Unbelievable stuff.
Our
And Fabi-
defending champion refuses an exit.
I know, and that means only one thing. The players are tied, and the match will now go on to blitz.
I have to say, if there was a heart rate machine on that one, I think the commentators would have been, you know, like...
Higher than the players.
What a game. What a game, Christian. Wow.
So-
and the scenario, Jovi, first of all.
Yeah, and you can see that we have just had a 2-game rapid playoff. That was tied, so this means we are now going on to the blitz. And this means the players will be playing with 3 minutes plus 2-second increments. And it's
I think
gonna
we're
get
that
speedy.
closer to Armageddon.
I think we might see an Armageddon in this match.
Wow. Not much between these two, Christian.
How do you cool down after this type of match? After this type
Yeah,
of...
yeah.
Go outside, you go, wah!
How do you do?
I'm sorry.
You have 2 or 3 minutes or however many Chris Bird decides that he's going to give
Right.
you. How do you cool down
Right.
now? How do you slow down your heartbeat? It's a difficult question, right?
Yeah.
You just play this, especially for Fabiano. For Levon, okay, it's some sort of a disappointment. There's some hints of disappointment because he knows he was so close, right? That close position, it didn't seem like there's any breakthroughs. And that's exactly what Fabi did, what we were anticipating that he will do. He will take him down all the way to the last minute and then open up the position. And that's exactly what he did. He played that d4 at the right moment. He had the option of also sacrificing the piece. With bishop takes c5, he decided against that. d4 kept it super complicated and won the match, won the game, and the match continues. Very intriguing.
We're going to take a very short break because we know the game is coming up. But boy, I got to calm down.
Yeah, I got to take those deep breaths, and we'll see you on the other side.
Colleagues are just temporarily indisposed, and they are repeating their earlier, the same opening from their earlier game with knight d7. Last time there was a rook on e8, and this time Fabi says, I don't need to play rook e8. I'm going to leave my rook on f8 as we are in the blitz. 3 minutes for both players with only a 2-second increment. So we're playing the World Blitz Championship time control for this one. Obviously, the players will get white and black. The winner moves on, the loser eliminated, and in case of a tie, we'll have an Armageddon.
And they're repeating a very similar position to what they have, right?
Well, but the rook was on e8, and there was a rook on e1, and that the difference is that the rook is probably better placed on f8. So takes. We'll expect something similar to the earlier game with ef and gf.
Gf, yes.
And whether we have to include bishop c6 or not, we're about to find out.
But is this a better version for Fabiano or for Levon is the big question.
I'm going to say it's a better version for Fabi because, in fact, the rook on e8 wasn't so well placed there.
And the rook on e1
was very well
placed.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. Welcome
Queen to
back,
f6.
we thought we were going to have a 5-minute break, and the players were like, let's go.
But, whoa. Okay, well, the players now are playing in the Blitz playoff, and they're playing at a much faster time control of 3 minutes plus 2 seconds. If this match is tied, then we're going to go on to the final stage of Armageddon.
And guys, we have the same position.
We do. We've absolutely transposed to the earlier game. And I thought that the earlier position strongly favored Levon, so I'm kind of stunned, quite frankly, that Fabi's happy with his current position.
And he decided to change it up a little bit.
He put his knight...
He's going with your idea of knight to f8, knight to g6.
Right.
Previously, he played, if I'm not mistaken,
E4.
f4 followed by e4 followed by e3.
Yes.
Yeah, and he went all in on the king side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now he's taking a much more timid approach, but perhaps
timid.
the better one.
Wait a minute. I played knight f8. You meant to say courageous. Approach. Timid. You see what I have to deal with around here? I mean, just like they just pound me and then
You're a timid man.
A timid, a modest man with much to be modest about. Yeah.
Well, okay, when it comes to the clock times, we can see that Levon Aronian is the one who has lower time than Fabiano Caruana. Fabi has over 2 minutes.
A5.
A5, wow.
I mean, it flashed through my mind to consider the move bishop takes h6 and knight takes e5, just because the queen side pieces on the pieces, Fabi's pieces on the queen side, I can get to it, are not active. And white, ooh, this move is an indication to me that something's not copacetic about the position for black.
Well, I guess
do you defend
right now he has to go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we going to see e4, f4 as previously played?
Go forth
that
and
one,
multiply.
or just knight g6 first and
yeah,
go
but
for
after
it.
knight g6, you have to deal with queen takes pawn, and there's some.
But I want to coax your queen on to c6 so that I can go rook to b8.
And
okay,
he's done it.
Done it.
He said, the pawn's all yours if you want it.
That's fine, because I go rook b6, and after that I transfer the rook on the other side of the board. Once you defend the pawn on b2, you have to defend that pawn on b2. I don't think you can allow me to invade with a rook like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking I actually want to duck the whole e4, f4 hits. And I'm thinking bishop c1, Karpovian, defending the pawn on b2, prepping queen takes c6.
Yes.
But maybe I can go queen c6, rook b8, bishop c1, rook b6, and let that rook slide across. No,
bishop c1 first.
Okay. I'm a supporter.
Yeah, I like this move. The bishop was in the way of the e1 rook.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, you made this great demonstration on the king side, knight to f8 to g6. You're investing a lot of time over there. I mean, at a certain moment, you're going to have to go e4, knight h4, and press your luck.
But I was thinking, maybe it's not e4 that you want to play. Maybe it's more along the lines of move the king to h8. Okay, I like this rook b8, and then get the rook to g8, and then f4.
And
will be the
unleash
the dragon.
The kraken, yes. Rook to b8.
Smart move.
And
inviting queen. It takes a. I like this move. Knight d2.
But take a look at Levon's clock time. He's
Uh-oh.
under 30 seconds.
Can I
That's
start
not
attacking
good.
your pieces now? Rook to b5.
He's done
Yes.
Rook b5.
He's
it.
done
Rook
it.
b5. I must say that I like my knight on c5. I'd probably want to support it with the move b4.
Knight b3, but it just feels like those pieces are going on
Wait,
the
wait,
wrong
wait,
side
wait.
of the board. Right?
Wait a minute. The king has no defenders.
Exactly.
Now's the time.
Bishop f8, knight to d3. Knight comes back into play.
I'm not happy by the sequence for Levon.
Rook to
Rook to
d5.
d5. The rook went from a8 to d5. It's magic.
And it's funny, after c4, probably it would go back to d8.
And Levon playing with seconds on the clock. He's just
Queen.
9 seconds.
Knight takes a5. Well, he's inviting f4.
Yep, I told you.
And he's accepting the invitation.
And there is nobody at home on the king side. I would be shocked if, f3 and bishop h3 doesn't arrive like a ton of bricks.
Do you do it now, or do you take on d1 first?
Well, yeah. I probably will not want to sacrifice
the queen
exchange.
has to come back.
Okay, at least somebody's back at home.
Yeah,
Knight
knight is coming.
h4.
This is starting to look dangerous for
Your
Levon.
king h8, rook g8 idea, not too shabby.
And well, he just simply goes forward with his pawns, and
No
Levon
time on the clock.
Ooh.
He gets just an extra 2 seconds.
How does
per
knight?
move.
How does knight takes g2 not win here?
Or f3.
Knight takes g2, king takes g2, f3.
f3 looks
Looks
damaging.
convincing. Ooh.
G4.
Good move by
Played.
Levon. Necessary
knight
move by
g2.
Levon. I don't know.
I'm not.
He's somehow getting out of it.
It's queen
at that
d5.
queen d5 move.
Look at that. Just in time. The golden rule of Jovi.
Yeah, but no, there's still a lot of danger. I mean, look at that. Rook h8 checkmate was being threatened, and now the player's playing so fast. We see Levon is an exchange down.
But he's up on time.
Rook h2 check.
King g1, bishop f3. Is he going to take that?
Yes, he
is.
had to.
Knight to f5.
Rook g2 check. King f1. You don't want to be stuck in the corner.
Bishop to h2.
Oh, he's
And
lost his
bishop
bishop.
d-
I think he
comes
found
back.
it. I think he found it.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, with his back to the wall, needing to win on demand, he did it. And our defending champion with the black pieces.
Well, now he's pushed Levon Aronian to the wall.
Wow.
And Levon is like, no break. Let's just get it.
Exactly.
Wow.
And Levon is now in a must-win situation,
Exactly.
but with the black pieces.
Truly. I thought leaving the king all by him as lonesome was terrible decision making by Levon. After bishop d6, king g1. And that moment, we see Levon And here we go at the end.
This was all intuition, right? Because you don't know whether there's going to be a checkmate or not on that side. But you have to go for it.
Right.
Knight takes f3, defending against checkmate.
So now I guess he needed to play something like bishop to d2 or something, allowing rook g2
was
and
fatal.
bishop g1. That was terrible. Yeah.
And
the
here
players are getting ready.
Gladiators.
I need help as we get a new game coming up. And Fabi now in the driver's seat. All he needs is a draw with the white pieces.
How these matches change on a dime.
Seriously, right? Thank you, Jovi. As we're getting ready for...
Levon,
if we see an Armageddon.
I know, but it would be unbelievable because
it would really be unbelievable.
Just, use every resource that they have, show every single ounce of grit and resilience to take it to the next stage. We've seen Levon in a must-win situation, Fabi in a must-win situation. Incredible. And this will be their 6th game today. And Levon...
I feel exhausted, and I'm just calling the game.
Yeah, but Levon actually playing a very risky opening. It's modern, right?
Yeah, well, a perk defense, or in the Northwest, we called it a rat. One of my all-time favorites as a junior player. I loved playing these positions. Today, I think they're even calling it the Black Lion or something. You go h6 and g5, and it's crazy what they do these days with the modern engines.
And it feels like right now it's a kind of a hippo defense.
I think the Black Lion is with e5, right?
Yeah,
I apologize. I think you're right.
And Jovi probably knows much better because one of our good friends, right? Simon Williams.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
You didn't read the book?
I'm sorry, Simon.
I apologize.
Your one chance to laud him and say how grateful you are.
Great course.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
you rush and read. Whoa, e5 and wait a minute. He didn't jump to d5.
No, he went to d7, putting pressure on e5.
That's okay. He has to win.
He does.
Then so he's got to take some extra
He's
risks.
going all in. He's not trying to equalize the game.
No, you can't equalize. But on the other hand, give black just one more move, bishop b7 and knight takes e5, and black will be the one for choice.
Yes.
So Fabi actually has to come up with something
E4.
very consequent. Knight e4, bishop b7, an invitation to drop in.
That was an enterprising move, an enterprising decision.
Knight e4?
Fabi, yes. Knight d6, let's go in.
Knight d6,
yes.
but then the bishop will move.
But then I take on a6, right?
Correct.
That's a pawn.
The question I would have is, can I take on f3, bishop f3, something like, well, rook a7, knight b5. How about that, Apples? Wow.
But okay, if you let the a6 pawn drop, that's not a problem because you do pick up the e4, 5 pawn.
I don't think you can give up the light square bishop. I think you have to keep the light square bishop on board.
Well, this is where he got himself into trouble in the previous game. He burned a lot of clock in the middle game where he ended up with just seconds and did Levon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he dropped a minute on the clock?
He's at 1 minute and 40 seconds, while Fabiano is at 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Okay, that's already getting significant. Bishop c6. Same move faster was better.
How do you continue right now? Do you defend the pawn on e5 with bishop d4? Or do you take on a6?
I probably take on a6 and look forward to the trades. By the way, the young gentleman in the background there, Colin, is from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, as his wish was to come to St. Louis and watch his heroes in action.
And Bishop that he does, and what a match to watch.
I know. Talk about good timing, Colin.
Good timing.
Okay, here I'm probably going to play a5 and look forward to an opportunity of playing knight to d5 and somehow undermining.
But a5, knight d4. You have to be careful about that as well.
I apologize. Knight to d4.
I'm not sure if it's a good move. I'm just saying. Okay. You have to be careful.
So
about those
maybe I have to start with knight d5.
Knight d5, maybe bishop g5. He goes for b5.
Okay.
Rook to e1.
Rook to e1.
Increasing the defense of the pawn on e5.
Well, the nice part about b5 is it does prep the square d5 as c2, c4 would not be a move of the near future. Queen c7. I like this. I like this. Again, if you have to win with black, you couldn't ask for a better opportunity because this is already 3 results, no question.
Still a lot of pieces on the board, and that's what's important right now. A lot of opportunities for black still remaining in this game.
But there's some danger there in the position. Because you can't just put a rook onto d8 because bishop g5. But knight d5 is a nice move. Is there any bishop h6s in the air?
Let's go rook d8, right?
Well, you want to provoke me?
Yes.
Okay.
No, because bishop g5, I have knight takes
e5.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think rook to d... I like your move bishop h6. I must say that...
Knight b6.
Knight to b6.
Okay,
played with only 16 seconds on his clock. Right now, 18.
Wow, I don't really like this move. And I think your bishop h6, I find it very concerning, actually.
That's exactly what he's saying.
B6,
and
I don't like
Levon, just 16 seconds on the clock, and he only gets 2-second increment per move.
And again, boldly stating the obvious, all Fabi needs is a draw, and he might be getting it from a position of strength after this move, knight d4. That knight on d6.
7, 6.
No.
Oh, it's so difficult to come up with good moves, and the position is still crazy. It's still got a lot of tension in it.
C3, bishop f4.
He just goes h4, piling on the pressure.
I like it. I like
getting a knight on d6.
I like this.
Get rid of that.
I would probably play knight to e4. I like this knight on c8. You can keep it on c8. Yes. And Fabi says knight e4, rook d8. I like c3. I like my pieces being protected. But h5, Fabi's playing like he needs to win.
He has to.
Well, now you have to go.
Wait a minute.
But hang on a second.
No, he just needs a draw.
But there's a problem with the knights.
Knight f6.
There's 2 knights under attack.
What?
Yeah.
The knight on d4 and the knight on
So
e4.
he has to go knight d6. Unless he's actually going to come in with
he
the
just
queen.
lose a pawn.
No, but he can jump in with an...
blundered something here. He missed. Can he play knight f6?
Whoa!
Whoa! Knight e6. Look at this.
Queen f4, knight f5, knight g5.
Oh my goodness.
6 seconds, 5 seconds.
And Levon needs a win, and Fabi is playing like he needs the win.
He's a piece down right now.
I know, but...
Are we going to see an Armageddon, guys?
That's a long way away. We have 7 seconds. Ooh, bishop takes g2. What a shot.
Wow.
A queen takes e6 is Levon's idea. You take the bishop on g2, queen e6.
But wait 1 second.
Jovi, this is crazy. Knight g5. Bishop b7.
The queen is getting ready to go to c6.
And rook is coming to f8. This is winning.
Bishop c4
Bishop to c4 was a winning move at that
point.
He missed it.
Everybody missed it. But, ooh, rook to
5 seconds.
Rook takes e7. Is that
hold
on. Queen e5. Queen e5. No.
Was rook takes e7?
Hold on.
Yeah, was rook takes e7 was good.
Queen e5 is not checkmate. The g7 square is defended by the knight. What am I saying?
Goodness. No, but rook takes e7 was... Oh! No!
What?
I think he made the move with 1 second.
Did Levon?
He did. Fabiano did that. And this is just pure instinct right now.
It certainly is.
7 seconds.
And that forks the queen, and the knight forces more trades.
Yeah, this one, I have no words right now.
Should be winning. Queen d6. Queen f7! Draw.
He's got a draw.
No,
Not
he doesn't.
Yet. E7. No, E7 loses
He's
the
got
queen.
3 seconds, 2 seconds. Okay, he just moves the king.
He could play E7. Why didn't he go queen takes? Yes, he's done it. He's gotten rid of the pawn. Now it's easy.
But bishop takes.
Yes,
bishop takes E4, bishop B5.
B5. Bishop B5. Oh, very nicely played by Levon. What a crazy game. We're going to see Armageddon. We're
The first
going to
Armageddon,
see
guys.
Armageddon. Oh, my word. Where are you going with your king?
In the corner.
Okay. Just to get a few extra tempi in. Queen to D7. Bishop to E2. Bishop. Yes. Bravo, bravo, Levon.
Okay, now the bishop just comes into E2. No,
Absolutely.
He throws in a few checks.
Or checked. Oh, don't allow. Yeah, Queen F2.
Into F2? No.
No.
Take the last pawn.
Exactly.
Perhaps the right solution.
The Queen G8 check is not the problem here for black.
Not
there is
much
no
of a
problem.
Yes, it's a check, but not much more than that. Wait. Wait a minute.
Just when you thought it was safe, he just blundered.
That's
another and Queen. Oh.
I mean, he's still winning for sure.
Of course.
He just made his life much more difficult.
And the panic is just.
Oh, the tension at the board must be palpable. Oh. Is there a way of picking
tension right now with a knife?
Is there a way of picking up this bishop?
You have to go with the H pawn.
Okay, Queen H7 check is not an issue.
G5, and that takes away the final square of the king.
You're threatening Knight G3 mate.
I don't think there's a way out.
Knight G3 mate.
Oh. And there's the handshake. Oh, Levon
Winning
does
on demand.
this. Seconds left on the clock.
And
you could feel the
Fabiano.
emotions, the tension. Oh, wow. We are going to go to the next stage, Yasser and Christian. It is going to be the tournament's very first Armageddon, which means that the player with the white pieces will be playing with 5 minutes.
Okay. Yep.
And the player with the black pieces will be playing with 4 minutes.
Right.
That means that they do get draw odds, but there is a nice little twist. At move 61, the players will get a 2-second increment. So it's, guys, hold on to your seats. We're in for a bumpy ride.
I hardly believe what I just saw. This game had so many twists and turns. It seemed like a novel that just wouldn't stop. I mean, it was like, that was crazy. That was really, I mean, oh my word. I mean, how would you sum up that game, Christian?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Chaotic.
I mean, Levon opened up with that.
Chaotic, wow.
It's chaos. Chaos on the board, but this is what we expected when Levon had to win with the black pieces.
Right.
He did what he had to do. Complicate the position, create as much chaos as possible. Fabiano did get a winning position. He was completely winning, dominating H5, H6, get the king to F8, get close to the checkmate, and then forgot about those two knights being attacked at the same time. And after that, despite the fact that our producer was saying that White had a winning position at some point, it doesn't matter, because once chaos is on the board, anything can happen. And this is the only thing that Levon was interested at the beginning of the game. Just make it as messy as possible.
Wow, and just to see the magic of television, just a little bit at the end here, as pieces have been flying, blunders galore, but at the same time, I felt that Levon kept the win in his pocket. I mean, even as he wasn't playing all the best moves, this one right here, an H4, H3, was very, very impressive. As he sets up a mating attack with Knight G3 mate, H3.
Yeah, oof.
Ooh.
So we're going to get a coin toss right now.
We're getting it.
Are we going to see that coin toss?
Is that the way they decided with the coin toss?
I believe we're getting a coin toss, and whoever wins the coin toss decides.
Yeah.
The.
Yeah. Okay, so guys.
Right.
If you won coin toss, what color would you pick?
White.
White.
So you would pick white.
In another circumstance, of course, I would take black in the draw odds. But in this match, it's victory, victory, victory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody's making draws.
Yes.
It's crazy. So I have to go.
I'm taking black.
You're taking black?
I'm taking black. Wow. I'm going to buck the trend, and I'm going to say black. And the best thing about playing with the black pieces, you just have to make the moves as quickly as you can, because on move 60, you're going to get
the extra 2 seconds.
times.
Yeah. Boy, hardly believe it. But the crazy part about that game that we just witnessed was... Yeah, this is a different view, right?
Yes.
5 minutes versus 4 minutes. Like, you don't see that. The clocks are always the same. This last game that we just witnessed, it was like Fabi was playing for the win.
Yes, yes, he was, and maybe that was his mistake. But how can you slow the pace whenever your opponent throws everything at you, right? You have to accept it.
Yeah, and here we go. As we see our chief photographer there, Leonard Otis.
C4 with knight f3, no more knight to c3, no floor mechanas.
Whoa. We're inviting d5 takes c4 there?
There's no need for...
Fabi wants a long game. There's no increment. This is the big difference.
That endgame can't offer white anything. d5 takes c4.
Yeah, but it does allow white to play lots and lots of moves. So instead,
yes,
what we're going to get is a position with some tension. And already we see Fabi extend on the king side.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Too much, you're saying, right?
That's...
You feel that might be too much.
I like creativity, but I don't like bad moves. That looks bad.
And the difference is that white hasn't developed on the queen side, while black has done everything in the position.
Exactly.
Developed all his pieces, made a connection between the rooks. It just feels like black is better.
Black is slightly better. Rook to d8.
Rook to d8, get a rook to d4, or something along those lines.
Exactly.
He goes a6, controlling the knight's circuit.
But we have to be a little careful, because if e5 comes, I could just have some space and be happy as white.
That's true, because e5 hits the f6 point.
G4.
He's putting on the pressure right now.
Is throwing everything.
Throwing caution to the wind.
Right. Well, I mean, he's been throwing the kitchen sink at him since that third game. How many games have they played?
H4. Let's go, Fabi says.
Seventh game.
Their seventh game. Oh, my goodness. And what a match these two have put on for us.
Yeah, and black, we have to remind everyone, does have draw odds.
Yes.
So it means if the game is a draw,
yes,
Levon remains in the competition, and we say goodbye to Fabiano.
Okay, after this move b5, isn't that an invitation for e5? We're all ready to go. We're dressed up.
Bishop takes h6 first.
Okay, I like that move too. Just to break open black's king side a little bit.
But you do give me the opportunity of playing b4 now and kicking the knight away. And he goes for it.
You were absolutely spot on with that one, Christian. Knight to d1.
Do you take on h6, or do you pass by with the move g6?
I would pass by. Yeah, g6 and knight h5.
And he does it.
And that puts up a pretty good fortress over on the king side. I don't like that knight on d1. That knight on d1 just has no good...
squares.
Yeah,
it can't jump to anywhere as well. I mean, the move that I really wanted to make for quite a while was actually e4, e5.
Indeed.
And jump right in with a knight to e4. And, clock situations. So Fabi has 3 minutes. And
Levon is actually feeling kind of good, because this knight h5 is such a deadly kind of threat.
And that's why he played bishop f3.
Bishop f3.
Stop the move knight to h5. You cannot allow the knight to jump on that particular square.
Okay, how about bishop f8 and bishop takes h6?
Good move.
Bishop f8.
Good idea. King h7.
King h7.
He's not going to touch that pawn with the king. He just wants to block that pawn on h6.
Bishop, again, bishop f8, bishop takes h6 would be on my agenda.
But a knight h3 and knight g5 is coming.
But knight h5. Now that is remarkable. What a move.
Nevertheless, the difference on the clock has been reestablished right now. 1 minute difference.
Oh, pardon me. Rook to g6. Yes, I can play rook to g6. If rook g6, f5, f5 is illegal. So rook to g6.
With the king on h2, that move is illegal indeed.
Yeah, rook to g6, followed by rook on a8 to g8, and black has the initiative.
But wait 1 second, you still can neutralize it by going bishop e3 and then rook g1.
Did he just miss that move?
What?
Ah, you cannot take on h6 because of queen takes f7.
Yeah.
But I can play bishop takes 8.
Oh,
no, bishop takes
threat.
h4. He could play bishop takes h4.
But now rook to g8 threatens the move rook takes h6. That's a big threat.
Ah.
How do you defend against it? Can you defend against it?
Again, f5 is illegal. F5 is illegal.
Can you just throw the knight into
knight h3?
Yeah, knight
but
h3,
then
knight
e4 is hanging?
Yeah.
E4?
I don't see it, guys. I really don't see it. How do you stop rook takes h6?
You cannot stop rook h6. In that case, you just have to start using your pieces. It's important not to burn the time in the clock. So he drops the queen back. I think this is a good decision.
I'm not sure. It's inviting f5. It's inviting bishop h4 as well as rook h6. The problem is there's too many tempting choices here for Levon, and he's chosen f5, a move that I really love because that bishop on e3 is now crying.
Now you have to go with
f5.
Rook g1.
Rook g1 and try to do something on the g file.
Yeah, but then you can go queen g3 and just try.
Bishop takes h4.
You're
Queen
covering everything.
Yes. Rook h6. Very, very quickly played. Levon
And the problem with the move f5 is
move.
that bishop e8 is coming right now. So you try to hide that pawn on the light squares. Good luck with that. I have two bishops.
Rook g1 on the board.
Bishop e8.
You called it. Bishop to e8, threatening bishop h5, and discovered checkmates.
I think this is going Levon's way. And by the way, Levon is up on time right now.
All he needs is a draw, and he might be knocking out our defending champion with this incredible play.
By the way, bishop takes h5? What is that?
That's a pawn.
That's
a
resignation.
Wow. That's it.
I can't believe what I just saw.
I had to go to Armageddon.
Wait a minute. Levon just won 3 in a row, right?
He did.
He went back to the wall. No, wait a minute. What am I saying? He won 2 in a...
No, he won in a must-win situation. So
right.
he's had 2 must-win situations.
And he must, yeah.
Yeah, and he's done it. He did it with the white pieces. He
Wow.
did it with the black pieces. And now he just had to draw. He had to survive. And he beat Fabiano Caruana. So that means it is Levon Aronian who goes through to the next stage.
Against
and
Linear.
it is, we say goodbye to defending champion Fabiano Caruana.